On the scene. Greetings, everyone. Yes, and give thanks for tuning into Real Radio Talk. I know it's been a few weeks since I've been podcasting. Had a lot going on these past couple of weeks. You know, in a positive way, of course. So now we're back on the scene and we got a powerful guest here. He's a writer, a painter, a poet, educator, and he has a lot to bring to the airways to those who, willing to expand their minds and be educated on different topics and levels. And he has to be a regular on Real Radio Talk. On Fridays or maybe on Saturdays, we'll be on for a few hours talking about, real topics. That you can always go back and research once you're done listening to us. If you have anything you would like to say, you can always see it in the chat or in YouTube. And we will post your comments on the screen and try to answer it the best of our ability. And right now I'm drinking rich and drinking red wine. Keep the mood nice and sweet. Our co-host, David Boyd, will be on momentarily. Without further ado, I want to bring in Brother Renaldo Ricketts from Panama. Lives in now, and he will introduce himself, and poetry, talk about his painting, talk about the school sports that he came through, and all that good stuff. So the floor is yours, my student.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. And it's a pleasure. It's my pleasure to be here for the first time.
Much welcome.
Yes, my pleasure, as I say. What I like to do is I like to just start by just sharing some of my thoughts and something that I wrote a few days ago. And it's called indoctrination.
Okay.
These days is that the day we free ourselves from the yoke of Christianity. Another assorted cults is the day we see our freedom. Liberation is being free from the oppression and its institutions and indoctrination. We must cast off the methods he used to brainwash us. Its churches and its ritual must be discarded and left to burn in a fiery hell. We need to stop carrying his torch as a banner of liberation. It's been 400 years of exclusion. No, we're not getting closer to the promised land because no land is promised. We've been marching for human rights too long. They passed laws with no meaning, just words on pieces of paper written in invisible ink that stink. You're the enemy, and what do you expect from people who stole us from a land, then told us that we were not fit to be humans? They passed laws with no meaning. You're the enemy. This is what we expect from people who stole you and blinded you and told you you were inferior and stole all the riches from the land they stole from you. We're dealing with a criminal segment of society. They are the perpetual game phase. They pass laws with no meaning and keep it hidden. Your entire existence is camouflage on all levels. Satan is always gaming. And after 400 years, the Jesus story is still being pumped into the minds of our children. And why? This is tantamount to child abuse. Now, if you wonder why we're not respected, most of our people are stupid, blind, crippled, lazy, and crazy. We have proof of their stupidity. And this is a piece that I just wrote a few days ago.
And that piece is on time.
All right.
That piece was read is very relevant today, yesterday, and I'm sure it will be in the future to come.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See, when you speak the truth has no time.
Exactly.
The truth has never had any time. You see, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, they all said the same thing. Over 50, 60 years ago, they all said and meant the same thing. They may have had different philosophies. One was an idealist, one was a realist, but their objectives were the same. It's like my
Exactly.
objective, what I attempt to do in society, what I look for, and that is to raise the consciousness of people. Once you become conscious, you do not you remain you remain conscious. You don't become unconscious once you've been conscious. You only have to become conscious once, not
Right.
twice, but you
Right.
can remain unconscious forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you only have to be conscious once in your life,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like if you're gonna win the lotto, you're gonna only win the lotto once. You're not gonna win it twice. And the lotto is like 35 million horses running, and you have to pick order of finish,
Yeah.
which is a mathematical impossibility. I mean, just
Mm-hmm.
like today, they talk. There's a lot of talk about reparation, and I'm sure you've probably gone over this many times on other programs that you talk about reparations. Now,
Mm-hmm.
white people supposedly have 100 times the wealth that black people have, right?
Right.
So imagine if you're in a race and the race is 1,000 miles long. And even if they give you reparation, how could you catch up? If you're both moving at 20 miles an hour and the race is 1,000 miles, he already has a 250-mile advantage head start over you. So even
Exactly.
with reparation, how do you catch up? It is mathematically impossible unless he were to stagnate for 250 miles or 250 years and not grow. So even with a reparation that they will never be allocated, you don't even catch up. You don't even come close. See, reparation is a mathematical impossibility. It
Mm-hmm.
cannot be done. It is impossible. So even with reparation, how much and for how long is reparation supposed to last? If it was ever instituted, it should last forever. It should
Right.
last forever. So as close as you can get to them in in equalizing the wealth gap. And even in 400 years, you still wouldn't even be close. Like I said,
Exactly.
reparation is a mathematical impossibility. It cannot. It cannot be calculated because it can't work.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot work. You do the math. When you do the math, a mathematician will laugh it out of existence. It will make no sense to a mathematician.
Exactly.
None. None.
Exactly.
Because they are
Mm-hmm.
not going to stagnate for you to catch up. And this is
No.
history is not a game of catching up.
Because that just defeats their purpose. That defeats their plan. They need their projects. They need their plans to plan out.
Right.
So
So then
giving us
they have a game. They have a game now that they call reparations.
hmm right. So giving us reparations, it's like them saying, "Okay, I give up. We did y'all this great injustice for 500 years, and we're gonna clean it up for you, and we're gonna, redeem you from the wrongs that we done to you. Here's your reparations." That's not necessarily gonna happen now.
It will never happen because the man that robs your
It's not
house is never
necessarily
going to return the goods.
right.
Well, I'm saying like what this comedian said. They said that why don't you all go back to Africa? Then you cannot return stolen goods.
Right.
You can't do that. So the reparation argument to me is really a mute one. They're not going to allocate hundreds of millions of dollars solely to black people. It will never take place.
Mm-hmm.
It will never take something like that never comes to fruition.
Yeah, yeah.
Never
Not
comes
in,
to
not in these not in these lifetimes are we
not
going to
in this
see that.
one or in the next one, because in the next lifetime, as long as the people that are in power are in power today,
Mm-hmm.
nothing will change. If they haven't changed in 400 years, that makes you think they're going to change in the next 400.
That part. Exactly.
They are never going to change. The best you can do is raise the consciousness of your people, raise your consciousness, raise the consciousness of the future generations. That is the only way anything will ever change. Is that you have to change things within your own collective paradigms. That's where you have to change things. It's like within you, within the schools, within the institution. You have to control those institutions and to make sure they're not polluted with the lies, the lies that have been propagated. We're in this cycle. We're in an era where we're attempting to correct the disinformation that has been fed in schools. Now they're fighting in Florida. They don't want history to be taught in schools. They don't want truth to be taught in school. This is
That
what
man
they're
is
fighting now.
that man is wicked and crazy, and he's not going to win. He's just showing the world who he is. For everybody who ran out and voted for him, and I see. You know how I look at him, DeSantos. He do a little good, do a little evil. Do a little good, do a little evil. So you can't really say he leaves it where you can't really say much about him because he did a good over here. But then he's doing all these wickets over there. But then he keeps bringing you back to the part where he did all the good. So people try to, find excuses for him and things like that. But I see him as you do wicked, you do wicked. I don't care what good you did over there. For the mere
I don't
fact,
know. I don't know what good he ever did, but the DeSantis
well, that's what
is
people say. What
part
he
of
did
the
do this,
mentality.
he did do that. You have people that say he did do this, he did do that to try and cover up that whole taking out Black history. But they're fighting him tooth and nail. He's not going to get away with that.
The man, but you see, you know what? He actually represent a large segment of this population. How do you think Trump became president? Trump created DeSantis. He is his mini devil son that was created. Yeah. Trump created DeSantis.
Mm-hmm.
DeSantis is a disciple of Trump. I call him Trumpanzee, is what they are. They're nothing but zoos. Trumpanzee is nothing but a sick animal in a zoo, known as a Trumpanzee. and DeSantis is the Santis, or DeSantis, the Satan is his disciple. So you have a zoo filled with Trumpanzee and the Satan.
Exactly.
These people, but you see, what is dangerous is that these people are actually represent millions of people in this country.
Of course.
Millions. You can almost say almost half the population. So half this nation is very sick.
Of course. The mental
very,
illness is
very sick.
Mental illness is very real in America. It's very real in Europe, like places like England. They get into your mind like a parasite, like the poster, like this picture right here that you painted. You see how he's sucking his mind?
Exactly.
That's how America does its citizens. That's how the European, Yoruguru. You're familiar with Yoruguru, right?
Tell me about it. I don't know what it's called. What is it?
It's a book called Yoruguru.
No,
and
I
it
don't
talks
know.
about how people think from a European mindset and the European culture.
I've heard that, but you don't understand. You see, the people that came here from
Europe.
Europe.
There's a powerful system who wrote that book. It's called Yoruguru.
Yeah, I think I've heard something around that line. But
Let
anyway,
me show you. I'll show you the picture so you'll see.
okay, what I look at is this. Who are the people that came over here? Do you know what the English did? They emptied your jails of all the insane people,
See
of
right
all
here.
the murderers, the worst of their society. You know what they do? They put them on ships and they brought them to this country.
Yes.
They got rid of, and so the sickness is generational. The mental illness is generational. So you brought so many sick people, all of the sick people in your society, you let them out to form a new nation in this country, the sickness permeates. So throughout Yuhuguru, you call it, but you know
You
what?
see it? Can you see it?
The cancer, was the picture? Oh yes,
Yeah.
I see that. Yeah.
You see the good? Can you read the
Yurugu.
words?
Yurugu. Okay, what is it? What language is it?
Oh, I'm calling it Yoruguru. Yoruguru is a
Okay.
is a werewolf man that came through that was found in New Orleans, that's being seen in New Orleans. I don't know why I said Yoruguru. I'm saying Yoruguru, but I meant to say Yorugu. But I'm saying
Yurugu.
Yoruguru because
Yurugu.
it
Okay.
is like a werewolf type of predator mentality.
Well, this can
So
go
if
back
you can
to
use these words right
this.
here.
Yeah, this can go back to why they enslaved black people, because it had to do with economics. It didn't have to do anything with our skin color. Is that it's a greed within, because it's the European mindset. It was to conquer and rule, right? They went to Africa, they conquered and rule. They talk about the debt that Africa owes them, that owes these European nations. They owe them nothing. They never talk about the trillions of dollars that they took out of Africa. Where did that go? It went to Europe. They've stolen trillions of not only people, but trillions of dollars in minerals, in gold, and in diamonds and other precious minerals. They've stolen this trillions of dollars worth, and they took it to Europe. They use the people. They use people in the Western Hemisphere, them and the Catholic Church. They use these people because of their greed. We owe them nothing. If anyone is owed, it is us that is owed, because they are the predator. You're looking at whatever Yurugu, you're looking at it's a predator mentality. It's a predator European mentality. Yes, I'm familiar with Yurugu. Yurugu is the predator mentality of the nature of European is predatory.
Yeah, I'm sure you was familiar with it. I found a
So
little.
I am familiar with it in the sense of, if from a historic perspective, I am familiar with it. Whatever we call it is really not important. We know
I
who
have
the
a little
predator
clip
is.
that we can listen to, so you can get
Okay.
an idea.
Urugu comes from Dogon mythology. Small group of African people whom Europeans would consider probably primitive, unquote, who have a most complex cosmology. And in it, they talk about Ama, the creator, having created all beings with twin souls, the male and female part, and that represents the whole being. Urugu was a being that tore himself away from the process of gestation, process of being born, so to speak, early, before Ama was finished creating.
Yeah, so it's
Rihanna is one of the most powerful women in the world, but she's
Okay. I can't
yeah,
hear
so
you.
that's just a little snippet of
Okay.
the who wrote that
Of
book
where
and
Yurugu
understand
comes
why
from.
that
Yeah,
word.
you know what? I've heard this.
Yeah,
I've
to
heard
give you
this.
an understanding of why that word exists and where she came up with that concept and things like that. So we call it Yorugu, and she has her reasons why she uses those
As a matter of
terms.
fact, I've heard it's been a while. Well, I've read
Yeah.
so much
Marimba, her
material
name is
over my
Marimba.
71 years. I've read so
Yeah, her
much
name is
material over my 71 years. I can't recall all of it. but this does bring back some flashes of what I've heard.
Yes, her name is Marimba Ani.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, I will look into it further. I'm familiar with it. I'm familiar with
Okay,
it.
so we have my co-host came on, David D. Miles. I don't know if you want to say anything, David.
Sure, definitely, David. I'm
Peace
open
and
to any
blessings. How you
questions.
doing? How you doing?
I'm
Yeah, I'm just
fine. How are
enjoying the
you, sir?
conversation.
Honey?
Yeah, I'm just enjoying the conversation.
Oh, great. Oh, great. Do you have any questions that you'd like to ask
Nope,
me?
not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we just got started, so maybe in a few minutes as we dialogue, we can come across.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is good, David?
Say that again.
I said everything is good on your side. You can hear us clear,
Yeah, I can hear you clear. Very clear.
Good.
Okay, good. Okay, so I guess we can continue on with
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, let's talk about bacteria. What is it? Bacteriological and psychological.
Right.
Bacteriological and psychological genocide on the Black race worldwide.
Oh, yes.
And where did you come up with that bacteriological word? Like, where did you create this bacteriological concept and plugged it into this genocide that's on the Black race? Because this is I wouldn't say it's the first time I saw that word, but it's not a word that you see every day. And I know some people have never seen that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was, like I said, it was easy to come up with because of the history that we share. And the history that we share is that they have instituted psychological and bacteriological damage to our people worldwide. True. Even today, they are burying nuclear waste. The cheapest place to bury nuclear waste is in Africa. Yes. And that nuclear waste creeps into the water supply of Africans. And this is where Western nations are burying their nuclear waste because it's cheaper. They make deals with some of these I don't know if you want to call them leaders, with some of these African thieves, and this is why they get away with it. And this is not only going to damage the people today, but in years to come, radiation, which has a lifespan of anywhere from 20,000 to 25, 40,000 years. And so we're looking at a poisoning of the planet. We're looking at the poisoning of Africans. This is where the bacteriological warfare takes place. The psychological is perpetual. It exists today. It's that we're constantly bombarded on all levels.
The connection starts messing up.
Oh.
Well, you see the type of conversation we have, and I'm not surprised that it's messing up.
Okay. Is it still messing up?
No, it's good. It's good. I mean, you'll see if your screen blinks out and it starts spinning, I would just say keep speaking because then it'll pick right up. Hopefully it will pick right up. Okay, you'll pick right up from where I left off and they can always edit. Yeah, and like I said, the psychological is every moment of our lives. The psychological is in the movies they make, what we see on TV, the plays they make, how they present us in the news media. Exactly. What happens, the way that they're killing us on many levels. One of the words that they're killing us on many levels, and that is what they teach. They teach a lie. The news presents a distorted form of a black man. The black man is seen as evil. Automatically, he is portrayed as a criminal. The bacteriological, we can also go back in history and show you how they used black women in social experiments.
how they use black women, how doctors and people in the medical profession use the black women as guinea pigs without anesthesia and performed all these experiments that it's sickening when you read it, and if you want, most of us are familiar, or should be familiar with medical apartheid.
Oh, yes.
Medical apartheid are books that are recommended. There are 2 books that are made that cover these subjects.
Very
powerful. This is about the bacteriological, insanity that has been bestowed upon us, that's been used on us. They've used their technology on us. They've used their social scientists to create conditions that predicted behavior. They know exactly how many prisons to buy, how many prisons to construct by the grades of high school and the dropout rate. This is how many prisons are determined. They're build more prison than they are colleges. Colleges are closing down, but the prison industrial complex is growing. And who are the people in these complexes? Who dominate them? How could we be 12, 13% of the population, yet still we're 50 and 60, 70% of a lot of prisons? This is worldwide. It's no different in Brazil. There's no racial democracy in Brazil. You go to Brazil. I've been to Brazil. 77% of the people in jails in Brazil are black men. 77%. 78% of people killed by the police in Brazil are black men. You go through every country. I've been to every country in Central and South America. Every single country in Central America and some in South America. And you go there, the black population is at the bottom of the totem pole. In every single country you go in Central America. I am from Panama originally and came to this country when I was young. But yes, I didn't speak English then. But I spoke English, but I didn't read and write it. But that was okay. They laughed at me when I read, but that's okay. I said that was okay. I used to say that I went home and studied. That's how I overcame that. I went home and studied. I used to say, one day I will teach you your native tongue. And it came to fruition. But that's one of those things, that's the way children are. If you teach school, if there's a child and he may have a speech impediment or something, and the other children will probably laugh at him because people are taught that, God, you're not one of us. There's something must be wrong with you. So then they laugh at you. But then I didn't see my reading of English as something that was really detrimental to me. I mean, I helped when I was in the 4th grade. I helped the teacher with students that didn't speak English at all because I could translate. I spoke Spanish. Some Spanish student didn't know a word of English. I was in the 4th and 5th grade, and I was giving the lesson plan in Spanish to the students that didn't understand a word they were saying. Because back then there were no classes. There were no bilingual classes that helped these students. There was nothing. They just had people in class, and people laughed at them. They couldn't read. They weren't dumb. They weren't stupid. They were thrown into a culture where they spoke another language. Like how great would you do in a classroom if it was like in China? They'll probably laugh at you. Lord, you must be stupid. You don't know the language. No, these people are not stupid. Is that there was nothing to introduce them into the system. Nothing. Just like black children. Why is it that they score the lowest on tests? Why is that so? Because it's like the prenatal care. It's like the preschool. These white people, they are prepped. They have preschools for their children. They have tutors for their children. Their children are prepared to go to these schools. That by the time the children arrive in the first, second, and third grade, they've already had years of education. That's why the early years are these are the critical and crucial years in school. And early childhood education is very important. Very important. It's not when you graduate from high school and what honors you have, it's the preschool. These are the formative years that forms a child's mind. They can determine, they say, from the fourth grade where that child is going to go. They've done these tests and they've run these studies and they've built these prisons just based on information alone. And they know where the stagnation occurs. And they know what happens to the child. And then the media feeds your child this things that they need to have. They tell you, is this false material world that you need at $200 and $300 shoes, right? And in order to get these things, what do some people turn to? The easiest way is to sell drugs. You don't have an education, but yet still you're going to school with $400 or $500 shoes. How do you explain that? How long do you think you can continue doing this?
I see it all the time. New hair, new shoes, new clothing, and they're reading on the fourth grade level in the eighth grade. Mm-hmm. They have their nails done. They have their hair done. Their mom is taking them to the nail shop with her. They have these iPhones that's like $1,200. And yeah, and when you ask them to write a paragraph on a specific topic, they can't even get you one sentence out that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Because the society is telling them that the material world is the most important world. So when you live only, not educating your children, but thinking that loving your child is giving them expensive gifts and expensive iPhones and expensive shoes and these things, what you're doing, you're putting your child in a prison. You're putting your child in a social prison. And some of them don't even know it. They think that look at my child, he has this expensive shoes, but yet still, he can't even read.
And no manners.
And he has no desire to read. How's he going to get through life?
And he has no respect, and he has no manners.
None. Because a lot of the problem is in the home.
That's right. I say that all the time. It starts at home. When they come to school, you're only with us 50% of the time in school. The foundation is at home. And the parents want so much from the teachers, and they feel they don't have to do anything at home because you're a teacher and you're supposed to teach them how to read, how to write, how to hold the pencil, how to do everything. And they feel like they have no responsibility at home but to dress them, feed them, and send them to school. That's their only responsibility. Dress them, feed them, and drop them off to school. You are the teacher. You're supposed to do everything else. They don't make them read 30 minutes a night. When I was coming up, we had to read every night before we go to bed. We had to do homework before you're not even going outside to play every day during the week. All right? Because
they're lucky they didn't grow up in my home. My father, he didn't think the school was giving us enough homework. My father used to give me 5-6 hours worth of homework every night. I thought this man was the meanest person on earth.
That's right.
I would do my school homework. He didn't think that was enough.
That's a good
5-6 hours. Oh man, I was on punishment before we came to. I was on punishment for like 9 months. I couldn't go outside. I had 6 hours worth of homework every night, 7 days a week. Man, these people they don't know what they escape. But you gotta understand. You have to lay the key. What we're both saying. is that you have to lay the foundation for your children. My parents, they laid a foundation. You have to lead a healthy foundation for your children. It's not how much you can buy them that proves how much you love them. No, it's how much education, how much love, how much compassion you have for your children. Show them through by educating them, not buying things for them. These are just things. They're just things. And every 6 months they come out, they need a new phone. You need a new electronic device every 6, 7 months. And then forever. Then when you can't afford it and your child is old, then what is he going to do in life? What do they do? Then they want these things.
Anything in life,
then the easiest the easiest way to get them is probably through some illegal manner to have that amount of money to spend on material things. And this is where the curve in the road takes place in a child's life. This is the curve in the road. You see, the road is no longer straight. This is the curve in the road at home. There is a curve in the road that you can tell the parents that take the time with their children.
Oh yeah.
You call them up to the blackboard and they're performing.
Oh yeah.
And then you can see the other one. You know where the curve in the road is. They're the best dressed in class, ain't they?
And those are the ones
they got all the amenities.
And those are the ones that have no manners and no respect. They yell back at the teacher. They throw things on the floor when they can't get their way. They have these temper tantrums. And when you call the parent is asking you why you keep picking on their child.
Yeah, then they want to come to school and fight you.
Yes. You can't get.
I'll come and mess you up.
They come looking for you for sure. Okay.
Yeah, I know what kind of car you drive. I know where you live. I'll come and get you.
I'm telling you, they have you under a microscope. They know when you're coming out of school. They know when you're coming to work in the morning. They're waiting for you right there at the front.
You are the villain. You are trying to educate your children, and all of a sudden you become the villain in the movie. You say, look. You say, look, I'm the good guy in this movie. Yes. I am not the villain. Yes. Yeah, they want to make you into the villain because their spoiled children are telling them that she is the villain. She picks on me in the class, and I don't have the answer because you're not doing your work.
I know.
Because you see, they are failing your children. They are preparing your children for failure.
I know.
They are preparing, but they don't see this. See, there should be classes for parents. There should be open house.
Yeah, these parents need to be in jail for the trauma that they cause into their children. Because all they do is traumatizing their children. So when they go out into the world and the world don't treat them like at home treats them, they're going to have these temper tantrums and nobody's going to care about that. They get their ass kicked or they're going to end up dead somewhere or on drugs because they can't handle society. Because at home, they get away all the time. When I'm outside the home now, I'm a grown-up and I can't cope because nobody is giving me what I want. Nobody's listening to me. Only my parents did this with me. So they get out into the world and they turn into rejects.
They are creating the antisocial behavior that the police department love.
Yes. Oh, yes.
They are creating little monsters. They are creating people that are antisocial, which is sad. Because the only thing that comes out of that is negativity. Is negativity, and you have created now an uneducated person, and now they're too old to be at home. They're too old to be at home. So what do you do? What do we do? Now you're dealing with an adult that is out of control.
And he's running your household and ain't paying no bills.
Right.
That part.
It's sad, but it's taking place. It's taking place. It is taking place. But
yeah, so
you are a soldier. You are a soldier in this war to save these children.
yes, I know, I know.
Indeed,
That's
you are
why
a soldier in
that's
this
why I have
war,
the
and we need more
podcast.
like you. We need more like you.
True, true. Yeah,
You're a
I'm
great
really,
soldier in this war. It's tougher to teach them than it is a college student, because by the
oh,
time you reach the college, you're supposed to know how to read and write a complete sentence.
no, but that's not happening right now. Trust me, it's not. I'm telling you, they're in the 8th grade, some of
Mm,
them, on kindergarten phonics level.
please, it's terrible.
No,
You know,
seriously, this is no jokes aside. 8th grade, about to go into high school next year, and they're operating on a kindergarten, 1st grade
oh,
phonics
that's terrible.
comprehension vocabulary level.
Mm.
Don't ask me how they made it to the 8th grade. Don't even ask
Well,
me how.
they just pass them through. They just some people are just passed through. I mean, there was a case of a basketball player that about God, this must have been 30 years ago or
Yeah,
more.
but
Yeah,
these are not
probably more.
basketball players.
Do you
These are
remember
just
that
regular
he went to
citizens.
college and he was totally illiterate.
Of course he was.
You remember that? Remember that story?
There was a lot of stories like that.
It probably is a whole bunch, but one of them was nationwide, and it blew me away. This guy was actually in college playing basketball, and he was illiterate. I mean, I've heard stories. I know people that I won't mention their names, but they were well known. This one guy said he had a class at one of these football players that's known in the United States, around the world. And he said he had one class with him. He saw him one day. One day, the first day of class, he never saw him again, but the guy got an A in the class. It's just that the school system, these people are worth money. These athletes, these people are worth, especially if they're athletes, these people are worth bringing millions of dollars. Can you imagine it's college football game and there are 110,000 people there? Do you know what kind of revenue that is for these
Right.
people at home games?
Mm-hmm.
Millions, hundreds of millions of dollars every year. I mean, it's ridiculous. So it doesn't matter if the child knows. So then a lot of them want to be. When you ask some of these children what they want to be, they want to be their athletic heroes, because these are the only role models that they see, and which is unfortunate. And this is what people like you need to fight against, and that is that you have to show these children. You have to show these children that there are men in this society, then athletes that you should be emulating. These are the kings. These are the kings our in our culture that should get more exposure. To get that will actually change the mind of some of these children. Some of these children will gravitate towards the intellect, the readers, the
Right.
readers in our society. And this is why it makes your job 10 times more important, because
Exactly.
you have these students at a critical age. This is the turning point. This is the turning point between your child going to college, being successful, and your child ending up in jail or being shot.
And you know what? Unfortunately, the lifestyle and the environment that they come from, it's getting shot, daddy's in jail, mommy might be in a same-sex relationship. It's just total toxic. Total toxic.
It's crazy. It's crazy because these people are the people are distorted.
Yes.
And then you have to look at you have to look at also you have to look at the culture and look at that the culture that they propagate, and this is one of the suspect. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, look at some of these rappers. I was just reading that rapper 20 years old shot to death, and killed. You know, this rap culture is also, it's a lot of it is a criminal element,
I
and a
know.
lot of my
And he
children
has life
rather.
insurance on them. You
Pardon?
know, the record labels that hire these rappers, they
Right.
have life insurance policies on them. So
Oh,
when they're
oh,
dying,
I'm sure they do. They want to
They
recoup
sure
your
do.
investments.
when they're
In
dying at
case
20
your
and 25
investment
years
dies,
old,
I still make money. Yeah, I mean, and
right?
then a
So when
lot
they're
of them are
dying,
responsible. A lot of this rap. I mean, let's look at it at some a lot of this rap music. A lot of why is it that white rich institution finance a misogyny? Why is it that they do this? Because you know what it does? Because it is something that misogynistic behavior, something that is breaking up black culture. They're not elevating black women. They are not elevating the culture. Because once you destroy the woman in the culture, there is no culture. These
exactly,
people are culture vultures. The woman
exactly.
is the most important. Man and woman are important in the
Mhm.
culture, but the woman is the one that brings life to the culture. From woman came man and woman.
That's right.
And
That's right.
that is the most important in the culture is the woman. Like late Arabella Fante, the great late Arabella Fante. That's right, the woman is smarter. From one of
Yeah,
his
he
sons.
knows better. He knows the truth.
They are smarter.
And then he just passed away. Peace be
Yeah,
upon him.
he just passed away a couple of days ago or so. But then
Sunday.
the woman is smarter because they are the bearers of life. Man comes from woman and woman comes from woman. So they must be the greater sex. It's actually not difficult to figure out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we are definitely living in the times, we are living in the times of where we must buckle down. And I figure the future of the society of black people in this society is the future plans will be the plan that Marcus Garvey had, because I feel that Marcus Garvey at the blueprint. He was the prototype. He gave us the prototype of what our society should be. This is why after 100 years, people still talk about him. People still talk about him because the foundation he laid was important.
Right.
It was
The only
very,
problem,
very important. You see,
so the
this is
only
why they destroyed it.
so the only problem with that is that we're talking about it, but people don't want to put the action and emulate what
That's
he did.
that's very true. And you see,
What he did.
and
They just want to keep talking it.
any program that's actually is benefiting black people, they've always sought to destroy. Just
Yeah.
like the black man that becomes the voice is always destroyed or killed. Why is that? Because we are dealing with an enemy. We have a big enemy. We know who the enemy is. And the enemy don't stop, and we should stop. We should never stop fighting. We should never give up. We should fight until we kill them. That is the only way. The only solution is to kill them. They need to die. They need to die because they have been abusing us too long. We're sick and tired. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired and tired and tired of them. We've had enough of them. That's why, as you strengthen our children, we'll strengthen our foundation, and our argument becomes a fruition. And that only happens through education and foundation. and laying positive and good relationships and building the family structure. That's why they created a system eliminating black men, because they want to break down the family structure. The nucleus is the family. That is the most important. That is the most important thing. That you need the family. You need the children. They want to break up the family. And then they have these antagonistic people, that what reaches your children. They can tell you who their favorite rapper is, 50 cents, a dime, a dozen, all these people, but they can't tell you, but they never heard of Frederick Douglass. They never heard of Marcus Garvey. No, these are our true heroes. These people are just flash in the pans. 100 years from now, you'll have never heard of them. Right. They won't even constitute a footnote in history. But men like Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, we still study these men. These are the people that they should know. Not lyrics from some misogynistic, foolish illiterate who can't write that garbage. I know 6th graders that can write better material than that.
Right.
It's childish. That stuff is 4th grade work. You hear children talking that kind of trash in school, on playgrounds. And this is selling millions of records? This is foolish. This is totally foolish. That is because the media, it goes back to the media. The media is selling us a propaganda. They're selling us a negativity. This is what they're selling us. They're selling us poison. The children are ingesting this poison. The children have this poison in their system. You see it when they come to school. You see it every day. It just tells you that there is there's poison water in the system.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wrote a piece on the Michigan, what happened in Michigan. And I was thrown off of Facebook. Well, I just came back. They've thrown me off permanently many times. I mean, I used to have thousands of people following. They threw me off. I wrote a piece. I didn't even get a chance to get a copy. They threw me off. Every month I was on the 30-day suspension for 2-3 years.
They do David the same way. He's always going to jail or shadow, but they got me shadow banned.
Really? But they threw me off. You haven't been thrown off completely yet, though. I've been thrown off several times. But
they only let certain people, see my post or blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Or my account has been hacked over 20 times. You know what I'm saying?
I just got thrown off. I just got thrown off because I showed the Catholic Church during World War II, Catholic priests, all of them lined up doing the Nazi salute. Facebook said that it was against their community standards. Well, then what community you belong to? The Nazis? So they threw me off. They threw me off, but I came back. You know how to come back on Facebook once they throw you off completely. That's no problem. They can keep throwing me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But you see, this is what they do. So they're but then a Nazi. Remember the guy that went into the one that went into the church and killed 9 black people? Was it North South Carolina?
Oh yeah.
He was on Facebook with his full display. Nazi flags, Confederate flags, and all this thing, but he met community standards. They're telling you who they are.
Of course.
These people are talking to you. These people are talking to you. This is what we need to listen to. These people are talking to you. They're telling you who they are in this society. And what you do and what I do, we are the building blocks of what we should be. Is that we are building. You are building and dealing with young minds, which is important. It is the most important work in the society.
Yeah, you're right. And they receive everything I give them, from Black history to loving themselves,
It's
taking their
important
education.
to have
Me,
this foundation. It's important.
I've seen a lot of results and a lot of changes with some of the students. Some of them came to me reading on a kindergarten level, and now they're reading on a second grade level. It may be a low second grade, but they're reading on their grade level, you know? So I've done a lot of improvements with some of them. You know, maybe like 2 or 3 of them are still lagging behind, and that's because no one caught it last year and no one caught it in kindergarten. So by the time they get to me in second grade, I have to clean up those past 3 years that they. But the majority of my students, out of the 40-something students that I have, I would say like 3 or 4 is still struggling. The rest of them, they look up to me. They look forward to tell me, hey, can you give me 2 books to read? I want to read 4 books. I give them books to read every week, and every Friday they have to bring the book back to me. Then I give them a new book. Now they're asking for more than 1 book. So I'm making them feel good and comfortable about reading, because evidently they're not getting that at home. So I have to play that part that should be played at home. I can't play the full part, but I can play some part.
You have the role of a Black teacher is not only teacher. You have to be mother, father, babysitter, and teacher. You see,
tell me about it. You think I don't know?
I know you know. I'm speaking to the choir.
I know
speaking to the choir. Yeah, you have to be more than. That's why your salary should be triple, because you have to do 3-4 times the work of a white teacher. You know, your salary should be double or triple, because look at the work. Look at the different roles you have to play. You have to be mentor. You know, white people, like white child start acting up, they just send them to the school. They get their own family psychologist, right? You have to be the psychologist. You have to be the parent they never had.
And they're the type of students that will wait for me in front of my classroom. They will leave the cafeteria knowing that they're not supposed to leave the cafeteria. They can't just wait in front of the classroom because no one's there watching them. They will wait for me. And one student told me she don't care what I say. She's going to wait for me. I said, who waits for their teacher? Who waits for their teacher? I never waited for my teachers. I hated to see my teachers coming. Who waits for their teachers? You know what I mean? So that shows me that I'm doing a good thing with them, you know?
Well, you see, you're filling the role of about 5 people.
Tell me about
You're filling the role. You're fulfilling the role of 4 or 5 people.
That's why I'm drained when I get home.
Of having a teacher like you. You have, I mean, it's more stress on you, but you have more to deal with than just regular teacher. You walk into these white schools, and they have it easy, and their children have been prepped from home. You know, you look at some of the professions that some of these white people have, some of these professionals, and you would notice that they have been training their daughters and sons to be doctors since they were in the 1st grade.
And since they was in the belly, since they were in the womb, they already told them they're going to be a doctor.
Exactly. They've been training. It's training.
Yeah.
They have been training their teacher. By the time he doesn't even know, he's in the 3rd, 4th grade. He doesn't even know that they have him on a program to be what they want him to be. He doesn't even know it. And when you're giving your children a $500 shoes and expensive phones and all these things, what are you training them to be? A parasitic zero.
Now, what is that?
A parasitic zero. You're a parasite and you'll be a zero in the society. You are not training to be nothing but a parasitic loser bum.
What?
Training your children to be bums. Is that you, David?
Yeah.
Well, damn, is that a negative 0?
It's -4. You're training your children to be a bum. That's what they train. Your children will be bums. They have expensive shoes, then you're going to grow out those shoes. You're going to need more shoes. More expensive. Then you're going to be too old. Then you got to buy your own shoes. Now you can't afford them.
Right.
And what you gonna do now? You gonna go to school. You're gonna go to the store and try to steal them. You know, then you're gonna go to jail. Then you're gonna have a record. Then you're gonna keep stealing, and then no one's gonna hire you because now you're not bondable, right? Then now you're now you're a bum. Now you're a felon. Now they can't. They don't even want you to vote. Now where are you going? Training your children to be parasitic zeros. That's what they're doing. You're not preparing them for the world. You're training them to lose the race. Your children are going backwards in the race.
Yes. They lose before they even run the race.
You know, before they even get in, they don't even get in the blocks to run the race. They don't even know what the blocks look like. Because you have to be able to read to get to the blocks. The children can't read. I know what it's like. I used to teach an adult class, right? These people had children. One of them told me that I better pass him. He's 23 years old. I better pass him or else he'll handle me after class. These are adults now that are reading on a 6th grade level.
Oh, wow.
So I told him, I said, you know what? If you feel froggish, you can leave because I'm going to take a book and beat you to death. I'm going to beat you to death. When I get through beating you, I hope this book educates you. I'm going to beat you with a book. I'm not even going to use my feet. I'm going to take a book and beat you. Beat some sense into I better pass him. I better pass the man, 23 years old with 2 children. Can't even read. Fail every goddamn test.
But he know how to make a baby, though.
Then he's going to come and try to think he can punk me? I don't think so.
He knows how to make that baby, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. It doesn't take, you know, these are just sperm donors.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of these black women would be better off at a sperm bank. They can at least
I don't know about that. Some woman will get that headache.
I hear you. You know, it's like at least you can go get a genius sperm instead of this low IQ sperm. 23 years old and the man won't fight me because I told him he's going to fail. This is the adult education. You're going to fail. I'm going to fail you. You are coming back next year. You are coming. Yes, you are. And don't even think about raising your hands to me. Don't even think that. That would have been a bad move. He didn't do it.
Exactly.
He didn't do it. I'm glad he didn't. He would have suffered a terrible blow on me. Yeah. That's what these people are doing. And this is one of these children that were giving things. People think they're giving their children things. You see it. You see the children that were given things, and you see the children that were giving an education at home and taught manners. Manners never went out of style. You see, and manners will never go out of style. Mm-hmm. It will never go out of style. Yes. Parasitic zero.
That have manners and respect, those are the A students. My A students are the ones that have manners and respect.
All the time. All the time.
Understand? Those are the ones who get straight A's all the time, anytime, all the time. Those are the ones who are going to read 5 books, you know?
It goes back to the home.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back again to the home. Everything goes back to the family.
And that's what I try to tell my coworkers and the students.
The mother.
I mean, like I'm crazy sometimes.
No, the mother, the father, the cohesiveness of the family. This is what builds the child. These people that want something out of life, they get together and they have children and
Exactly.
they support their children. And
Yes.
this is what makes your job easier. So you don't need 5 professions to teach this one child. You don't need 5 professions, no.
Exactly.
But normally you need 4 or 5 professions to teach a black child because you have to play too many roles. You have to play all the roles. You have to fulfill a role that he's never seen.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
You speaking some truth right here.
You
Tell
know,
me about it.
he's never seen some of these roles. Like, wow, I didn't even know this type of compassion for me to learn even existed because he never saw it at home.
Never ever.
He never even like, wow, what is this? It's new. It's new to the child. And when you introduce this to the child, it's like he can't get enough of it because it's filled with your passion and the love that you have for him. And the child has never felt this love before.
Let me tell you something.
It's foreign to him.
You saying some you talking some real talk right now. I even told my students about Fela Kuti. They know his music. We listen to music in my classroom. They know the Isley Brothers. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
They know violins. They know instruments.
Did you see the play, Fela Kuti?
No, I never saw it.
You have to see this play. It is a must see.
Okay, I'll look for it on the social
media. It is a must see. You live back east, right? You live back east?
I know. I live in Miami, Florida.
You live in Miami? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. But fella, I don't know if it ever reached there, but if you ever get a chance to see it.
Yeah, I think they have this play in New York certain times of the year.
Yeah.
His play will circulate in New York City somewhere.
Oh yeah, it's a must see. It is one of the most dynamic plays. Well, I mean, his life story is just amazing.
Exactly.
A million people showed up for his funeral. A million.
Of course they did. What? Let me tell you something. I created a playlist on my YouTube channel with Fela Kuti's music, some of his best music, 5,180 something views.
Right. Wow. Really?
Now, this podcast might not reach that high. But his music, 5,175 people have listened to this playlist that I created on the YouTube channel.
That is amazing.
So when you tell me a million people came to this funeral,
that's the reason that we hooked up. They was just there, and this happened.
Yeah, exactly.
You're friends with a man from Guyana. That's where I saw you.
Who?
From Guyana, Fat.
Not familiar.
From Guyana. Well, I saw that you were on his friend list. I said, well, anybody on his friend list has to be somebody I need to talk to.
You're right about that.
And if you were on his friend list, I said, you know what? This woman looks interesting. Let me see what she has to say. And it was my pleasure meeting you again.
Yes. Love-wise every time.
Again. That's why we're here today.
Yes.
That's why we're here today.
As well.
Fela Kuti was an amazing man. He fought against that corrupt system. I mean, you understand, Africans that were left in charge of these countries are the tools of colonialists.
Of course. What you talking about? Big time zombie?
Yes, they only left the zombies in charge. That's the problem in Africa.
Yes.
And like, why should I go to Africa and be run by zombies? When I got them here.
You must have heard me say that 1,000 times. You sound just like what I say. Yeah. Why would I leave here and go there and deal with the same zombies, the same black on black mentality?
I've been saying that.
The same religious fools.
Right.
There's not even the black people that left the diaspora that's in Africa now unified. They're not even unified.
Right. Exactly. I've been saying this for like the last 40 years. And
Okay.
it's because, I've seen it. I know people that have gone to Africa that have come back. They say like, "Oh fuck no, hell no."
I visited Ghana.
It said and then you've been there.
Yes, I went to Ghana in 2012 for 7.5 weeks, and
Wow.
I got a big broad view of the whole layout of everything that's happening. And that was back in 2012. We're in 2023 now. And I'm hearing people that's there right now that left here and living there now, the same thing that I saw back in 2012 is the same thing they're complaining about right now.
Right. Oh yeah. I have a buddy whose daughter lives there. Marvin X Jackman. I don't know if you know him. But anyway, his daughter's been living there for years. One of the expatriates. I don't know if you may know her. I don't know. No. The Sherry. I can't remember her name. But anyway, you have to understand is that there is the cycle. This is the strangulation culture. Africa was strangled. It's still being strangled.
Africa's under a spell.
Exactly. In Africa is being strangled. Is being strangled. And what you're saying is that, culturally, sure. I love Africa culturally, but when you're not going into a system that's going to support you, you are going in, you are already being strangled, you slip out, and then you slip back into being strangled again. And so you already know, you say, God, I'm strangled here, but I go to Africa, I'm not any freer. Because they control these people too. When you saw the maps that I had, right? About African 85% of the continent of Africa being controlled by foreigners.
Yes. Yeah, and it's still that way.
The Chinese, I wrote a piece on the Chinese. The Chinese are the new whites in Africa.
Yes.
They're ready
to take over the Caribbean. If Caribbeans don't wake up and smell the coffee, the Chinese is getting ready to take over the Caribbean.
Oh, they are.
They're
taking over. They're taking over the world.
Just like they did America. They're doing the same thing in the Caribbean, same thing in Africa.
In 10 years, let me tell you, in Kenya, the African artifacts, the Africans that made African artifacts, you know what the Chinese did there? They went, sent the duplicate to China. They came back. Now they've taken over the African artifacts market. African artifacts are now made in China. You go to Kenya, so then they've already asked out the Africans artists. All the artisans are gone, and now everything is made now by the Chinese. They're supposed to be Africans. These African alleged leaders, these Africans are allowing the Chinese to exploit their own people. I mean, what are we fighting? I am not becoming African by going to Africa.
Exactly.
I am not becoming more African. I am not becoming aware of African culture. What I'm becoming aware of is imperialism. I am becoming aware of imperialism in Africa. I said I am leaving an imperialistic state to go into another imperialistic state run by people that are not Africans, just like in South Africa. They never had a revolution in South Africa. What happened in South Africa was what? They created an accommodation to be run by a minority government. They created an accommodation to racism. That's what happened in South Africa. They never broke the ties of apartheid. They never broke the tie. All they did was create an accommodation, and then they say, look, because South Africa, the people are voting majority, and then now we have these black people. So now we got to lift all sanctions. Nothing changed. The rich South Africans remained rich. They lost nothing. What do you think they lived so peacefully? Because nothing changed. They didn't lose anything. In a revolution, your ass have to lose something.
Exactly.
There is no revolution. Just like, what if the American government, when they fought against the British, they fought against the British and the British lost nothing. The British lost revenue. The new government had all the revenue now. Mm-hmm. They became powerful over the years. No, you cannot have a revolution. No, they don't know the difference between a revolution and an accommodation. There's a big difference between an accommodation and a revolution. Big difference. That's why nothing changed in South Africa. Nothing changed. I know people that have been there. I have a good friend whose nephew went there and lived. He was Afrocentric, and what he learned is that Africans are not Afrocentric. Africans, people in this country in the Western Hemisphere, we are Afrocentric. Africans are not Afrocentric. And he learned that real fast. You know what he says now? He says, he doesn't call himself African American. He says, I'm just black. I'm just black, right? Because he went there and he saw what you saw. He saw that the colonialists and the class system is in place. Mm-hmm. And it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere soon. And then why am I really, I'm going from point A to point A. What is the point of even leaving? Right. If you're going to go from point A to point A, there's no point in leaving.
Exactly.
It's worldwide. Worldwide.
Yeah, it's really a shame. It's really a shame.
It's a travesty. Mm-hmm. It is a travesty. It is a travesty indeed. That today we can talk about Africa and African independence, and it is a myth. These are countries that are controlled. Look at the way an African leader dies and the French president. These people are still colonies. These people are still colonies of European countries. They're still colonies.
Yeah.
But we continue. You continue teaching. You continue teaching and wearing your 5 to 10 different roles as a black teacher. You have a lot of roles to fill. A lot of them to fill. And you know it. And you know, you have a lot of roles. You just don't go in, teach, boom. No. You have to go in and fill all these spots. You have to fill all the empty spaces, all the spaces that these children never had. You have to fulfill all these roles, you know, and it's not 2, it's not 3, that's 4, it's 5. But some people it's 5 or 6. Because some students are so far over the edge. Some students are so far over, they don't even have a parent.
I know.
They send them to school.
And some of them have a parent, but it's not like they have a parent.
They don't even have a parent. Some of them, I know some teachers. He said, man, I've gone to some of these homes and these people were crackheads. Straight up crackheads that were smoking crack before I got there. Like, I know what this shit is. You know, they go in a room and smoke some crack and come out. You know, holding your breath and shit. Yeah. They were smoking crack. These children are ingesting crack. So these children, how the hell are they going to learn? Their parents at home smoking crack. You know the fume, they're inhaling those fumes.
Exactly.
How the hell is your child's going to learn? Then you wonder why your children have a learning disability.
Because there's a lot of crack babies.
That doesn't exactly expand the mind.
There's a lot of crack babies. A lot of crack babies in the school system nowadays. Those parents need to be in jail.
But this was the attack on black people, and that is that they got the black woman addicted to crack. And once the lifeline of a people is a woman,
That's right.
and you have a matriarchal society, and then you introduce crack into that matriarchal society, that's how you destroy a people. See, that's how you destroy people. Crack was meant to destroy you. That's why they introduced crack to you, made it real cheap. They introduced crack to you to destroy you. This is designed to kill you. Just like the picture shows, the one of my paintings. It is designed to kill you. And it's the poison that they put through you. You see that? You're a beautiful color. You see that? You're a beautiful color. But that's the crack they're introducing to you. That's the crack going through your system. That's the heroin going through your system. It's there to destroy you. But then the leg, that's the power. That's your power. That's the power that's there to combat the crack. To combat that ghost. That is the leg of strength. That is us. That is our people moving. That's the light. That's the light. Its foot is in the light to combat that. That's what it's doing in that picture. We are fighting. We are fighting these white demons. See the demons we are fighting. That's the leg to crush them. That is the leg to crush them. That's what that picture is about. Crush them. That's what we need to do. These people have to be crushed. And by saving these children and the work you do, you are saving these children. You are saving an entire generation. An entire generation. Or you'll be remembered like no other. They say, I remember this teacher and that teacher taught me this and taught me that. I've had powerful teachers throughout my life. Powerful teachers.
Yeah, I might have had a few, but I never waited for them at the door. You know?
Right? Well, that's because you're fulfilling.
I had a few, but I don't remember waiting for them. You know what I mean? At the door.
That's because you're fulfilling. They're doing that because they're telling you that you're what I need in my life.
Wow.
You're fulfilling. You see, you are that spirit that's missing from their lives. You are this catalyst in their life. You see, you're playing. You don't even know how many roles you're playing at one time in your life. There's something that child is missing. That child is at your door because there is something that they see in you that they don't see at home. They don't see at home and they don't see anywhere, and then they see that. They see that, and this is the magnet. See, you're this magnet that's missing from these children. You're amazing. You're this great magnet. See, and you're this magnet, and these children, and you see how you attract these students, and they're glued to you, and they wait for you, because your magnetism attracts them. There are things in you that they've never seen before. You know, that's the love they have for you. See, you can call it love. You can define. You call it anything.
Yeah, they
But
tell me they love
it
me
is
all the
something
time.
they need.
Yeah, they tell me they love me.
You're fulfilling a need. That's what love is. That's what love feels like. Because that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. It feels good. Love is not something you have to work on. You already know it. You feel it. It's there.
Exactly.
That's a work. You don't work on love. That's bull.
Exactly.
It's there. They feel like, wow, I feel you're like this warm blanket in the night for these students. You're this warm blanket. And they feel comfortable. You won't hurt them. See, you won't hurt them. You are what love should be like. They feel that. You don't explain love to people. People feel love. You can tell somebody that you love them, but you know what? They feel that. They feel that. They feel safe. They feel it is a warmth. It is a warmth. You exude this warmth. And the students feel that. And this is where they want to be. If you had a class that was 24/7 and they got up and they had breakfast in the morning, they'll be there bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to learn. They'll be there ready to learn. They couldn't wait for school to start. They'll be right there. Boom, let's go from school right to the classroom. Your classroom will be packed with people. Will be packed. They'll be breaking down the doors to get to your school. Maybe one day you have your own school. You don't know. Have your own school. They'll break down the doors to come in. You have many roles that you play. And when you do that, the children know. See, the children know. You can't fool children. You can't fool them.
That's right.
Those parents that are fake, they're fake and they're giving them fake gifts, preparing them for what? For nothing. Then they want to show off in class. Oh, look at this phone. Look at this. Da, da, da. Those students are going nowhere fast. They're giving them trinkets. They're giving them trinkets instead of knowledge, preparing them for a road of nothing. All those things you can buy. You can buy those things when you're an adult, when you can afford them. But like I say, you fulfill this role. You're fulfilling an important component in these children's lives that don't exist. See, it doesn't exist for a lot of these students. It doesn't exist. Some of them really have no mother or father. They're just some older people that are in the house. So that's all they are.
That's right.
They give them food to eat, and it's probably not even nutritional. They eat junk. They eat fast foods. They eat fast food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You go to the black neighborhood, what do you see? A bunch of fast food restaurants.
Right.
Fast food restaurants. Well, you live in Miami, you say?
Yes, I live in Miami.
Yeah. The only place I've ever been to Florida was Jacksonville.
Oh, okay. That's like 5 hours. That's about 5 hours away from Miami.
I went there, so I had a friend that owned this club, this jazz club called Jazzco. And it's a long story. It was like, the club was huge. It was like 35,000 square feet.
Oh, wow.
It was huge. It was huge. I mean, they eventually had to close down. Another story onto itself. But yeah, they invited me down there, so I went down there. So the person I was with at the time, and we had a good time. But it was a huge club, biggest club I ever been in my life. It's huge, a monstrosity.
Right.
That's my only trip to Florida. I have a good friend from Florida named Claytel Benjamin. You might want to Google his name. You see a lot of work that he's done. He's done a lot of work, and he's doing things about W.E.B. Du Bois, and he does social commentary. It did radio for a while, but you can look him up. You can look him up. He's done a lot of good things. I was a guest on his radio show once, a long time ago, but he's had a lot of guests on there. So matter of fact, he had Malcolm X as a guest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, way back. I mean, but he's like 80 years old now, but he's still going strong as a writer.
Wow, I would love to interview him.
Oh yeah, write to him. Yeah, you can write to him. You can write to him. He has a lot to say. He's done a lot of radio for years in New York. You can write to him.
He's in New York, you said?
Yeah, he lives in New York. He lives in New York now. Lives in Harlem. But he was around. He knew. As a matter of fact, he knew Langston Hughes. He knew Paul Robeson's wife. She was an social anthropologist, and yeah, he's got tapes. I mean, he's done a lot of WBA or something like that in New York. I'm not familiar with it. But anyway, when you Google his name, you can see all the stuff that he's done. A lot of TV shows, Renaldo, name it. He's done it all.
Yeah, I'll be in New York in the summertime, so maybe I could sort him out in Harlem.
Oh, probably. You can mention my name. I've known him for years.
Oh yeah, I'll probably have you on the phone at that moment.
Honey?
I said I'll probably have you on the telephone at that moment.
Oh, no problem. He'd be glad to do it. He can also. It's another one that can talk for about 3-4 hours and has done it.
No, I mean, I'll have you on the telephone when I need it.
No problem. He'll enjoy it. He's accustomed to doing. He's used to doing interviews and interviewing. For decades now. But if you have any other question, does David have any questions?
No, David is good.
All right, David. Anything pop up? Please let me know.
Add to the conversation.
Yeah, enjoying the hell out of
it. Thank you.
Okay. Just making sure we don't leave you out.
Oh no, y'all good.
And so your paintings reflect the.
So my paintings.
Yeah, what do your paintings reflect? The whole bacteriological and psychological.
Right. Yeah. Well, see, my painting. The painting started out. I started out breaking down the human body. Right. I have a three-dimensional breakdown of the human body using the differential of two cubes. It got real complex. So I ended up with like 1,700 drawing in 15 years. Actually, the drawing is actually buildable. They're drawing to scale. But I figured I don't have the kind of money to even build anything so ridiculous. So I turned it into art. But I've always been a painter since I was a kid. So I never studied painting in school or art in school. It's like if you've written a book, why would you go back to school and study the alphabet?
Right.
So why should I study art? I am an artist, and I paint, and I paint things that reflect social issues, and some things are just visions in my mind, but most of it is a reflection of just what I do in society. I try to share my consciousness through art and make people aware. I rarely ever explain anything in my art. I feel it's what you get from it is what it is. I'm not going to really tell you what every piece of art that I have, but it's for me, it's what do you get out of it? Do you see anything in it? And the most important thing is what you see in it, not what my intentions were, is the way I see it. So I create. And if you want to view more of it, or some of it, it's all over the house. Anyway, it's just Google Renaldo Ricketts art. Some of it comes up. I don't know. A lot of things are on the net. and that's all you have to do.
Right.
Hell yeah, that's great.
I never sell any of the originals, but I do sell prints on canvas. If anybody's interested in buying prints of it on canvas, some of it take me too long. I mean, to sell. I have some pieces I've worked on for years. I have one painting. I don't know if I can bring it up. I don't know if I can. It's the central. Well, it's the central nervous system coming out of the human body, and I'm still working on. I don't know if you want to see it. I don't know if I can show it. Let me see.
Yes, you can share the screen from your side.
Yeah, I could. That's why I tried to put this on my phone, but I couldn't get it on my phone. And so I was going to show it to you through the phone, but for some reason I can't get the live stream on the phone. Let me see if I could bring it to the screen, or maybe you can see it. You can view it. Hold on. You see this? Maybe it's too much light.
Yeah, maybe you should go back with it.
Maybe you should move back. Let me see. It's actually too much light on it. Let me see. I have too much light. Let me see something. If this is any better.
Yeah.
Let me see. No, it doesn't work.
I mean, I see it.
Yes, I see it, but it's a little dark. I see
dark.
it,
and then I turn on the light, then it brightens it too much.
Your light's in the wrong position.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get it reflect here. It's probably still not good. Should I move back?
I can see it, but I don't see what you want us to see.
What I want to reflect now, it's not working. It's not working. Well, it's actually very, very intricate. It's actually very, very intricate. Like I said, it's best to view it. Well, this is one piece that I'm actually wearing. You can see this, right? You can see this one on the net.
Yes, I see.
Yeah, I also put it on t-shirts, long sleeve, short sleeves, like that kind of thing. But like I said, it's hard to see. I don't have the right lighting to show the work. That's why if you want to actually see more, you can just go Renaldo Ricketts art, and it shows up on the net all over the place.
Okay. You put that into the chat.
Oh yeah.
Reference.
Oh yeah. Just
podcast later.
Right. David, you gotta have at least one question for me.
Huh?
I don't want to put you on the spot.
What now?
You gotta have at least one question.
No, I don't. I enjoyed the conversation. I mean, it was on point. It was powerful. So I had sat back and enjoyed it like I was at popcorn.
All right. All right. Well, I'm glad that you appreciate the conversation. It was. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, because I mean, look, there is no me. To me, just me. There's no way to rectify any relationship with them. Certain information has guided me towards finding out that not only was that 400-year suffering that we went through, it was also the length of the goddamn contract. So the United States of America Corporation does not exist. And I think it has been for the past 35 years. UN is trying to, I don't know, get rid of their ass, kick them out. You're immigrants with no papers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you have to understand, these people have an army, and they're serious. They're very, very, very serious, and they will kill you.
They will
kill you. They will kill hundreds of thousands if need be, just like in World War II. In World War II, the Japanese were defeated. The Japanese were defeated, and the Japanese surrendered 3-4 times. Do you know You know why they neglected their defeat? They neglected their surrender because the military wanted to test the bombs on the human population. It just shows you. I mean, the big lie that shows you that they dropped the bomb because this will have saved thousands of American lives, and that's the lie.
Yeah, that's a lie.
The military, when they developed the bomb, they wanted to see what would happen if they dropped the bomb on people. The Japanese military, their entire naval was already defeated. The Japanese were surrendering many times. I mean, there's even a book out on this now. Is that why they dropped the bomb on Japan? There was no need. The military of the United States, they wanted to see what happens when you drop an atomic bomb on someone, and they drop 2 bombs, and then they turn around and study them. Just the same way how they injected black people with syphilis, and left them untreated for over 40 years. Why? Because they wanted to see the effects of syphilis over a period of time that has gone untreated. Yeah. So people that have killed hundreds of thousands of people, just tell me, I still believe that they're doing experiments today that we don't know about. They still do experiments on people. They're still doing them. It's just that we don't know about it. Now there's like, this is medical research. I mean, would you like to try out these drugs on? They're trying out drugs and new things on people. And who are the people that they try these things on? People that are non-white. This is who they try these things out on. So they haven't changed. They haven't changed. They are the big police around the world. They haven't changed. They will never change. They will never. Your oppressor never quits. That's why I won't quit. Why should I quit? You know what you're doing? That you're building strong minds. Right. You're building productive. This is the future. You're building productive citizens. We want conscious citizens. See, you have young minds to work with. You mean? Like I said, you fulfill so many roles as a black teacher. So many roles. Because it's needed. Mm-hmm. It's needed. A lot of people leave the teaching profession because it's tough. Black teachers, it's tough. They have so many roles to fulfill. Too many, well, they go to homes and they like, man, how the child, and they wonder, how does the child even exist in this environment? You know, how does the child even exist in it? I mean, like, God, this child comes to school? How does that take place? And that is because this is the malady in society. You have homes that are not fit for animals. You're animals that live better. Animals that
tell
live
me about
better.
Pardon? Thank you. I said, tell me about it exactly. You see, animals providing and preparing and living in harmony of nature, and connected to God, connected to the nature force. More than you see humanity doing it, and we're supposed to be some of the most intelligent beings on the planet.
And this is what you have to fight against. You're up against you're up against a force, but you are more powerful than that force. And that's the way you have to see yourself, as being greater than the force that is evil. There's only one way to overcome and conquer that evil. You have to be greater than they are.
Right.
You have to be greater.
Yeah.
Yes. That's why the role of teacher is a significant and the most important role. Because when your child goes to school, this is part 2 of being the parent. And you need their attention even more. You need their attention even more than what they have at home. You need more of their attention, because every moment that you are there, you're filling their heads with knowledge. Every moment you are teaching, every second of that moment, every hour, every second you are actually teaching, and you are putting something in their brains. That's why it's important for the child to be prepared, to be receptive. And a child can only learn if the child is receptive. Can a child learn? A child can't learn if he's not receptive. So in order for that child to learn, he has to come from a home that has opened up his mind to receive knowledge and education. And then, as you know, what you have to deal with, some of them are just, they're like bricks in the child's head, because there's nothing in the family foundation. There's nothing in the family foundation that helps the child and prepares him to be receptive to the classroom that you're trying to put knowledge in.
I'll tell you, David, the words that he come up with and the way he frames them and the way he phrases them, it gets hilariously funny, because it's true. It zooms right on it. He zooms right in on it just the way it is. And he finds the right words, like bacteriological. You get what I mean? He finds the right words, David.
I hear you.
You see, this is the power of words.
I love it, though. I love it.
Power of words. And if I can ever come to Miami, you can invite me to the classroom. I've spoken to classes and schools. And
I was going to ask you, would you be willing to come here and
I will be honored. I'll be honored.
I have a good relationship with the principal and assistant principal, and all I have to do is tell them that you have your art, you're a poet, an educator as well.
Tell him to Google my name. Tell him to just Google my name, and if you think I'm worthy, and if he reads it, any of it, and thinks I'm worthy, then that's it. It's up to him. But
to Miami.
Pardon me?
You would actually fly here to Miami.
Sure. Yeah. I've driven through wars and risked my life and had my head knocked in El Salvador. Well, why not fly to a place where I won't get shot? I hope not. Schools are becoming dangerous. I mean, look at what's happening in schools. There's a shooting every goddamn day. Look at this clown goes into a classroom and blows little children away.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of crazy shit is this?
Right.
Open and carry. The Wild West is back. They're legislating the Wild West. Open and carry. The people that there was a shooting. All right, in Walgreens, you could go into Walgreens with your gun, right? So there was a shooting. A ton of people in the Walgreens with a gun. They took out their guns, started shooting. They don't know who the hell they're shooting at. A bunch of people in the store shooting. But I heard gunfire. Well, I'm going to shoot in the direction of where the bullets are coming from. Who the hell do you know?
I think they were testing the gun before they bought it.
Walmart, I mean, yeah. Yeah.
They were testing it before they buy it.
Man, it was crazy.
That's what happened.
Somebody was killing somebody, and then the people with guns like that. Everybody got the people are nuts. Children ain't even safe in school. Now they have drills in case there's a shooting.
I know they're not.
Look at the people in Texas, how crazy they are. The same people, these are Republican Mexicans. This is the part that got me. They are Republican Mexican, and the same people where their children got shot voted pro-white to allow people to go in at age 18 and still buy automatic weapons. These same people who just got lost their children voted with the majority of crazy white people in Texas. These people are crazy. DeSantis, the Satan, and Trumpanzee.
Oh, you hear what he said?
They need their own zoo.
You hear what he calls your boy Trump, right?
Yeah, whatever.
Trumpanzee. Yeah, he has his own zoo. And the Satan.
Trumpanzee, you dumb bee.
Trumpanzee and the Satan. Not DeSantis is the Satan and Trumpanzee.
Right.
These people are criminals. I mean, look at what Trumpanzee said about the Central Park Five. You know what he said? They should be executed. They were exonerated. He wanted to reinstitute the death penalty in New York because he felt that these black kids, a guy should have been executed, and they were exonerated.
Of course.
There are two states that has nothing to do with the people in it, and that is Texas and Florida. I try to keep away from.
That's funny.
I live in Florida. And
I know. No offense.
And David lives in Texas.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that's right. That's right, and you're right.
Yeah. Between Texas and Florida, they execute more people than all of the states combined in the United States. I don't even like to fly over those states.
George Bush couldn't wait to be governor here. He executed a woman, what was like his second week in office, and the first time a woman's been executed in 150 years.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was a free-for-all.
And then he mocked her.
Yeah.
He mocked her. I remember the case, but she was crazy too.
She was nuts.
But the thing is about it. All right, you're not supposed to kill a crazy person.
Yeah,
is a person is insane. You're not supposed to kill her supposedly by law.
George W. Bush could not wait.
Well, you see, he got off on it, and then he mocks the woman. The sad part is that he mocks the woman, But she went she was on this killing spree. And she was crazy. When she was arrested is when she went nuts. So we're still on here, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was so insane. She talked about when she was killing this woman and how she orgasmed while she was killing her.
Oh my goodness! What?
She orgasmed while she was like chopping her up or some shit. It was crazy. She was talking about she got a sexual thrill from this. This is not reason that she should die, but she was mad. The woman should have been treated as a mental patient, but I'm sure she regretted all of this. She even married the jail preacher, married her, became his wife. They went out of their way to save her. But Bush got his rocks off for killing her. Well, that's the culture he's from. He comes from the culture vulture society. People in the
that wasn't a vulture culture. That was straight up them.
Straight up them. Exactly. The vultures. These people are vultures. They're killers. That's what they do. George Bush, He trained on and being trained on a plane that they didn't even use in Vietnam. This is how the rich protect their children. The plane that he was trained to fly on never was used in Vietnam, so he was protected. He'll never have to go to war. That rich people protecting their children. Biden gave his crackhead son a job that was $50,000 a month. This is how they protect. They protect their children. Their children grow up. His father was the president. He grows up. He becomes the president. He was governor. They just fulfill the roles. The slave masters, the people that made money, they had money in the society. These are the people that are rich today. The people that own slaves. So wealth is transferable, and poverty is not transferable. But wealth is transferable. So they transfer the wealth generationally. Wealth is generational, and poverty is generational. So chances are, if you weren't rich, you're probably from a lineage of people that are not rich. And the people that are black that are rich are so minute, they don't even constitute 1%. A fraction of 1%. They don't even constitute 1% of the 1%. The fraction is so small, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There is there is no traditional millions of people that are black that are rich. There is a small minority of people. Like I said, they don't even constitute a fraction of 1%. Not even significant. Totally insignificant.
So, let me ask you a question.
What's that?
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
So you feel like let me get this in the right perspective. So you think that, well, you've stated that,
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
I have to turn off this light. Come in and turn on the light. Salad. You need the salad now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. So you have some people, right?
Pardon me?
You have some people, right, that says Christianity doesn't have anything to do with our tradition.
Without what?
I hear some podcasters, right? Some podcasters would say that Christianity doesn't have an impact on, the black race, current, past, present, future, whatever tradition. And And you mentioned in one of your writings how Christianity has the mind of people, and that's another reason how society is under this 500 year.
You see, one of the problems with Christianity is that we're looking at Christianity as a salvation mechanism, and the majority of Black people today are looking for a savior, and they are praying for this savior. The only people that believe in Christianity are Black people and are minorities, but white people who control everything, they don't believe in no freaking Christianity. There are no goddamn Christians. They don't believe in Christianity. They believe in, they know it is nothing but insanity, because people that died thousands of years ago are not going to save you. We are looking for a savior in Christianity, and there is no savior in Christianity. Christianity is a tool. They use Christianity on the plantation. The only book allowed on the plantation was a Bible. You understand, the Bible? That's why they call it the Bible, because it was used on Black people. You know, the Bible is a compilation of a lot of ancient Egyptian history that is distorted to fit their narrative. It is used on people. It was used on people on the plantation. It is not the true history. How come none of the people, there are no graves of any of the people that you read in the Bible? Have you ever noticed that? There are no graves, but you can go back 5,000 years in African history, and they can show you the graves of these people.
We're still waiting on proof of that.
You know, and there's not one person in their Bible that has a grave.
You sure about that?
Not one.
Are you sure?
Name one.
Because you have people that will say that maybe they got excavated. Maybe
there's not one person in the Bible that was excavated. Name one. Name one. Not even two. Just one. None. There is no grave of one person in the Bible, in the Bible, I call it, that ever came. There's not one grave. But you can take African history, you can go back 20,000 years, and you can, and with the Egyptians that kept meticulous records, and they can show you these rulers through 5,000 years, they can show you the graves. But the Bible is 2,000 years, and you can't show me one grave? Not one. Not one. Because this was fiction. This is a compilation of books and parts of the Egyptian history that was fragmented and used and rewritten. The first people on earth, first literate people on earth were Black people. They didn't teach us how to read and write. We taught them how to read and write. The Greeks were taught by Africans. The Greek alphabet is based on Egyptian hieroglyphics. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, eta, zeta. That comes from Egypt. It is Africans who taught them. From hieroglyphics. There were vowels and consonants from hieroglyphics. They taught us nothing. Everything they ever learned. But if you ever when you open up their history books, you will want to believe that it came from them. Is that civilization started with Greeks. You always hear about Greek mythology, Greek this, and that. It all came from Africans. All of it came from Africans. Like this friend of mine said, the only thing white people ever developed was the patent office. They've invented nothing. The cell phone was developed by a black man. They've only invented the patent office. It's the only thing they ever invented. There's not one person in the Bible whose grave was ever found. Not one. Name one of them. They were all mythical characters that were developed, and they were like an offshoot of people that existed in Egyptian history. The Bible, as they know it, as they rewrote it, the Bible was written and would be over 1,000 times. That book has been written and rewritten over 1,000 times. And there's a King James version written by a slaveholder, written by a guy that owned the slaves in England. And he has a book called his version of what the truth is, what he wanted to say. No, I do not accept the Bible as anything that could ever lead me. They use it on people, and it could never be used on me. You have to teach it.
Not to cut you off or anything, but I've also heard one say that even if Black people left Christianity, it's still not going to fix our current situation, although it's a big part of, you have to
understand, once you stop believing, this is it. See, once you take away something from somebody, as they say, as they learn in psychology, you have to replace it with something. So if you took away their Christianity, insanity of Christianity, you will have to replace it with something in their heads.
Exactly.
They believe this so strongly. I'm sure you're familiar with Fanon, right? With Fanon.
Oh, yes, of course.
Right. And so this is that you have to replace it. Is that they believe these truths. They believe these truths and these myths to be self-evident. They believe this. And once you take this away from them, they're left with nothing. You have to replace it with something. You have to replace it. So even if they took it away, you have to replace it. But if you replace it with something that is greater than what they believe, you will change your current position. It's impossible not to change your current position if you took away the nonsense that they've blinded you with. Africans never had no man on no cross stretched out being tortured. That is a white man concept of Christianity. That is a total white man concept of Christianity, that you should be worshiping this dead white man in Africa that's on a cross. Now, how foolish is that? But Black people believe this through generations, and the reason that they believe this through generations because they have been indoctrinated. It took 400 years to indoctrinate Black people to get them to this point, that they believe the myth and they're teaching their children the myth. So until you re-educate their children, nothing will change. Until we replace Christianity with truth. You can teach people the truth if they're interested in the truth. Like I said, you can only become conscious once. See, once you become conscious, then you know what? You will let go of foolishness. Difference between consciousness and foolishness. Foolishness is one thing that you can take in any direction. Once you become conscious, no one can lead you astray. It's impossible to lead a man of knowledge astray that is conscious. You cannot do that. It cannot be done. Like, you cannot sneak up on a man of knowledge in the night. He already knows your idiot ass is there. Did I answer any of the questions? No?
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You have to speak up a little bit. Did I answer the question?
Oh yeah, sure, of course. I mean, I'm asking these questions for ones that are still sleeping and still stuck into this belief system. I already know what time it is, but I like to ask questions that I know people may want to ask and don't know
Please
how
do.
to ask it.
I'm open to any questions. I mean, we can do this every week. You can compilate a ton of questions. I'm ready.
Oh yes, we definitely gonna do this every week for real. And I also want to add on that I also hear a lot of people saying, they talk about Jesus as if he actually existed. They're not dealing with the Christ consciousness. Like they can get the same Christ consciousness too. They're talking about it and waiting on someone to come back and save them.
Yeah. Well, the savior mentality.
But wait, hold on. They talk about Peter, they talk about Matthew, Paul, as if these people actually existed.
Well, you see, this is part of the brainwash. You have to understand, people, why do they think so? Because their parents told them that. And who told their parents? Their parents told them that, and then their parents, and then the first person that told them that crap was the plantation owner about Negro. You're going to go to heaven, but first you have to die and work 16 hours a week, 6 days a week. But when you get to that heaven, you can't get there unless you die now, Negro. In the meantime, I'm going to enjoy the fruits of your labor while I'm here, but you're not going to enjoy shit while you're here. but when you die and when you can no longer work, and I can no longer sell your children, like I sell livestock, then you die, then you can have the pearly gates. Peter will be waiting for you. Right. See, you're waiting for those pearly gates. They got Negroes that believe that crap. Today, I know Negroes that believe that nonsense. They're gonna rot and die like anybody else. See, they're not gonna go anywhere. There is no damn heaven. There is the universe. There is the universe. The universe is infinite. Just like I say, if you attempt to measure an object, you change the nature of an object by attempting to measure it. So if you attempt to measure anything in the universe that's infinite, you attempt to measure matter, like it doesn't really matter, because matter doesn't even matter. So when you attempt to measure something in the universe, there is no unit of measurement. There's no such thing as a unit of measurement. We have units of measurement in our attempts to understand it. The units of measurement does not even exist. So when people talk about these invisible people in nature that came about 2,000 years ago, these people came about with all kind of magic. A man that walked on water. See, once you start defying the laws of gravity, that's when I begin to laugh you out of the room, because you cannot defy the laws of gravity. You're not going to walk on water. Maybe you can float with some flotation sandals. I will buy that. But you cannot defy the laws of gravity and walk on water. And a man takes stone and turns it into bread. That is utter nonsense. Man takes water and turns it into wine. That is utter nonsense. You see, people are willing to believe in nonsense because it makes you feel good. It's magic. People are looking for magic. They're looking for a savior. I got to jump off a cross after 2,000 years. It's magic. People are looking for magic. So people, I don't know any damn magic. A magician. You know what a magician does? He does tricks. They're not real. They're looking for magic. There is no such thing as magic. no such thing as magic. People once believed that the thunder and lightning were signs that the gods were angry. They actually believed this crap. They actually believe people practiced witchcraft and they had powers over them. That is just utter nonsense. These people weren't witches or anything like that, but they killed them. And they had the Baila bull with them. You see, the level of ignorance that have existed in society has been thousands of years. I would like to dispel some of it, some of the foolishness and the ignorance that exists. We get rid of it. Get rid of ignorance. And we'll go a long ways when we get rid of ignorance. Any more questions? Hello? No problem. I'm waiting.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was using the restroom.
Okay.
Yeah. So, when do you think will be a good time for you to come visit my class?
To come visit?
Yeah, would you be able to come in like June?
Like when?
The beginning of June?
That will depend on my foot.
Okay.
It will, I mean, for me to actually travel right now, it'll depend on my foot. I can tell you I had diabetes, right? And I have a complication with diabetic ulcers. I don't know if you're familiar with this.
Yeah, I'm dealing with that myself.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Are you also a vegetarian?
Not yet.
Become one. Miracles will happen. You're looking for magic? The only magic I know is food. It's food. It's
the only magic I know is living natural.
There you go. That's good.
So,
that's good. Natural food.
Yeah, it's been on my mind.
Does your foot swell?
Yeah, it does.
It does swell. All right. How are your kidneys?
They're at 50%.
That's good. That's good. At least you're 50%. That's good. You take diuretics?
No.
Okay. Diuretics actually help relieve a lot of water. It takes a lot of water out of your system, and if the water comes out of your system with the diuretics, it doesn't accumulate in your legs. And then when you sleep, you gotta sleep with your legs up. Right?
That sounds like a lot of work.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't really. Well, I don't know. Well, I have one of those, or one of those beds whereby I just press a button and my foot goes up.
See, yeah, I need something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You definitely need a bed like that. You have to invest in a bed. They're expensive, like $700, $800, $1,000.
Yeah.
If you have a regular doctor?
Yeah, but I have new insurance now, so I think I'm about to change that. So
you have a new insurance or no insurance?
I have new insurance.
New insurance.
Yeah, so I'm about to change my regular doctor.
Yeah, what you need is that you have to take you have to relieve the water in your foot. And that's what causes diabetic ulcers.
Yeah.
The accumulation of fluids. And that is because your kidneys are trying to work overtime.
Mm-hmm.
If you get your kidneys to flush with a diuretic, it'll alleviate the water. I mean, you run to the bathroom every 15, 20 minutes, you'll run to the bathroom. But it will get rid of your diabetic ulcers. Now, would I be able to travel in June? I don't know. It depends on what my foot looks like.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, the reason why I say that is because school is out on the 9th.
When school is out?
June 9th is the last day.
June 9th. Well, that'll be kind of cutting it. Well, we only were in May, June.
Yeah, my last day will probably be on the 6th or the 7th.
Maybe we can do it when school comes in. If things change. Maybe not now, but then when the semester comes back, maybe.
Well, how about doing a Zoom?
I could do that anytime.
Okay.
We can do a Zoom anytime, but actually physically being there is something else.
Yeah, I think a Zoom will be good.
What's that?
I said maybe a Zoom will be good.
A Zoom will be good. The Zoom will be good. But then the school will be flying me there, right?
Well, I would have to speak with the principal and assistant principal to see if they would sponsor you. But if not, then we could just do a Zoom.
Yeah, we could do that. Well, yeah. Well, I've gone and spoken in different places and things like that. They usually, all accommodations are usually taken care of, and everything else, and speaker fees and these things like that, if they're willing to do that.
Yeah. I guess whatever their budget looks like, if they could.
Their budget, the schools are always on the budget. You know that. Yeah. You know the deal. There's always a scramble for money on what they consider important, whatever. Well, you can show them this Zoom.
What you say?
You can show them this Zoom.
Yeah.
No, you probably edit it and do whatever.
Oh no, I was thinking maybe you could do a live Zoom with them. This is not
sure.
Zoom.
Oh, definitely. There's no problem. There's no problem. There's no problem. Getting on a plane and doing all those other things, can be done, but I have to look at what my physical health and stuff look like. We'd be up to doing all of that. Yeah, because I've just recently become a vegetarian, but it's working. It's working. As you know, David, diabetic ulcers is nothing to play with.
No. Oh, no.
I mean, my grandmother went blind and they amputated both of her foot.
Yeah. Oh, no, I work with it every night, so.
So what you have to actually have the ulcers that you treat, or you do anything, put anything on it?
Yeah, I forget the name of the medicine, but it's it's a more active version of Neosporin. It's called, hell, I can grab it right quick. I'm so sorry.
Well, I put this thing called silver. It's actually just natural silver on like a pad that's in it, and silver heals these ulcers. And it's just regular silver from the ground.
Just regular silver.
Right. It's just silver, but it's inside it's inside a medication that you can cut your pads. It's in pads. So you put these pads on about 3-4 days, and it absorbs a lot of the ulcer.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's called Silver Cell. Silver Cell. Right. Ask the doctor about it. If you have these bleeding sores like on your foot, this Silver Cell will absorb it, and it helps cure it. And actually, the ulcer is a bacteria, man. If you were to get antibiotics, you get intravenous antibiotics, in about 3-4 days they're gone. But you have to go into the hospital to get intravenous antibiotics.
Okay, but it's called silver calcium
silver cell. Ask for Silver Cell, and they will know it's a pad like, and you cut it to fit the ulcers, and then you put the tape. You put tape on it, not any tape, but there's the paper tape, that the skin can take to.
Right.
Then you bandage it, and then use like an ace bandage and bandage your whole foot after you do like a wrap. Then you do that, and then the compression. What you want to heal the sores is that you want a compression. And that compression will help speed up the healing. Either that, the fastest way is intravenous antibiotics.
Okay, I'm going to remember that.
No problem. Well, you have it on all of this on tape, right? So you can just...
Yeah, I'll go back and listen to it.
Just go back and
yeah, I'm able to tell my doctor.
Right.
Awesome.
I'm sure he knows about it. If not, educate him.
Okay.
They don't know everything.
Yeah, they don't.
So they've never recommended you taking a diuretic for the diabetic ulcers.
Okay.
Have they ever?
No, I've never.
All right. Well, recommend it.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, you got to relieve the water, but that's what causes the ulcers. The accumulation of water, then the skin bursts.
I don't know if there's anything else.
I don't know. Let me know if you have anything else to say, or
I don't know. Maybe you have something you might want to add to the conversation. I know you got a lot in your head right now.
Yeah, I've got I can go on for 10 hours, but you don't want me to do that. But we can do it every week, and we can have something new.
So,
how long have we been going now?
2 hours and 26 minutes.
Oh my God! Don't even seem like it. Seems like
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. Yeah, that's probably good enough time. I think.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
We said a lot. We covered a lot.
I think we covered enough. Mm-hmm. We can cover other subject and be more specific or concentrate, or we can do just general topics, or we can cover Christianity. You can have some of the born again, some of the born again people. I say born again, twice a fool, but
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. Born again, twice a damn fool. I got some of that in my family.
Yeah,
No
I think
problem.
we all do.
They told me that I didn't, something about I didn't believe in God. I told them, I tell you what, I couldn't believe in any God that you believe in.
That's the truth. That is the truth.
Whatever you believe in, and I've seen your actions, I could never believe in anything you believe in, from judging from your actions alone. So I don't care. Don't tell me what your belief system is. I look at your actions. Okay? Your actions will tell me exactly who you are.
Exactly.
Me?
Exactly.
You talk that talk, please walk that walk.
Exactly.
You see, the talk that I talk, I walk that walk.
Mm-hmm.
You talk that talk, walk that walk. Got no problem with that. I even know some Christians that I respect because they talk that talk, but they walk that walk. But some people use Christianity as a shield and a tool.
Mm-hmm.
You see them use it. They're trying to use Christianity on you. Or you don't believe this, or you're going to this, you're going to that. They use it as a tool to cloak behind. They cloak behind this thing they call Christianity. They're not cloaking behind Christianity. They're cloaking behind the insanity of their psychoses.
Yes.
That is what they're cloaking behind. They're cloaking their psychoses. And they want to say, oh, this is my religion. No, it's not your religion. It's your psychoses that you're dealing with. And I tell them, I am not the problem because I did not create the problem. So attacking me makes no sense. I did not create the condition. The condition exists because of your institution. Christianity has been institutionalized into the society. I did not create the malady in the society. You use Christianity to create the condition that we live in today. So I could not be a Christian because you created this. You're the farthest thing from what you say you are. If there were anything close to Christianity, you won't be marching for civil rights. We won't be marching for voting rights. They are nothing close to Christianity. Christianity, it's just a tool that they use. They're not defending Christianity. They're defending their insanity. They're defending their psychosis. They are defending their racism. They are cloaking their malady. That's what they're doing. They're cloaking themselves. And then they're calling it Christianity, and they're calling it patriotism, and they're calling it all these things. But no, they're only cloaking. They're not joking, just cloaking. That's the way I see them, as cloakers. Professional cloakers. No, they are professional cloakers. That's what they are. They couldn't sell me on anything, and they haven't showed me one grave yet in the Bible. Show me one grave.
Right.
You study Egyptian history, and they can show you the graves. That was it. 5,000 years, they can show you these people existed.
They're digging them up right now as we speak.
There you go. These people existed. How come not one? Now you came after. You only came 2,000 years ago with this crap. And you can't produce one grave. You can't even produce a fraction of a grave. Because all you did was borrow bits and pieces and strung them together and say, this is what I will use to rule you. Anyway.
Right. Anyway.
That's what the Greeks wrote this crap.
Exactly.
The Greeks wrote it. So I'm ready for them too. I've sat down and debated them in their insanity and their religion and their foolishness. You know, they can't produce nothing. They can't produce one truth. None of their people ever existed. None of their people ever existed. But how is it that the spirit of Africans exists? And that we can go back thousands of years and produce people and show you artifacts before Christianity was even a thought in the minds of these before the distorted version of what they try to tell you Christianity is, because they took everything from Africa and then rewrote it. They rewrote everything that they present in their society was rewritten. You look at the headgear that the Pope wears. What does it resemble?
The headwear that Asar had on his head.
What do they copy? All they do is copy African civilization that existed before. And then they present this fragmented version that they have written and rewritten thousands of times. And then they use this to indoctrinate people for them to remain slaves? How can you do this?
Exactly.
Like I said, once you become conscious, you only have to be conscious once, not twice, just once. Then you say, well, show me. I have replaced, if you once believed this nonsense, well, tell them, but I have replaced the nonsense that you've been trying to indoctrinate me with truth and facts, and I am comfortable. I am comfortable within the parameters that I believe and things that I believe to be true. Just like you are comfortable with what these people have constructed over the years. The same people that enslaved you believe this, but they enslaved you. Then they look for passages and tell you that God cursed you.
Exactly.
Hey, Oh, the Mormons. Well, you cannot hold any position in the church because you were, no, what it is? This is your racism. This is how they've used the Bible to justify racism. I'm supposed to join this church that cursed me. They got Negroes in the Mormon church that are stupid, but that's okay. That are stupid. I am the cursed one because they said so. They said so? No. God did not curse the black man. God could not have cursed the black man because we are the cradle of civilization. We are the blueprint. How could the blueprint be defective?
Thank you.
The blueprint cannot be defective.
Exactly.
I mean, and the final product will have been defective. We will have been defective. We are not defective. They are defective because everything they built is built on a lie about who cursed who and who is cursed and how they are holier than that, because this is what they created. They want to justify their degradation of you. They want to degrade you. So what they want to do, they need to first degrade you. They want to degrade you so they can have power over you. And some people believe that these people have power over them. They have power because you've accepted their lie. Do not let Satan define you. I don't allow Satan to define me. Don't let them define you. That's what they want to define you, and they want you to believe it. People believe that you and the plantation owner, how could you pray? How are you going to pray to the same God? So when we go to heaven, what's going to happen when we both die and I meet up with you? And why did I have to work and you didn't?
Exactly. And I worked for free for 500 years.
Yeah, so you owe me a lot of money. If they really wanted to do anything about the plantations in this country, right after the Civil War, you know what? Every single plantation should belong to the black people. They already worked 250 years for it. Every single plantation should have belonged to them. They could have continued working on the freaking plantation and own it. They did the bookkeeping. They never told you that the black people that did the bookkeeping on the plantation. Everybody had their jobs on the plantation. They did the bookkeeping. They kept the books. They didn't need them. Why did they do nothing but have parties? They didn't do anything. They've trained these people to do all these things on the plantation. All the plantation should just belong to black people. Okay, you're all on the plantation. Okay, continue working. But then they said, okay, we're going to end slavery now, and you're going to become a sharecropper. So that means that we're now going to re-enslave you. Sharecropping is supposed to be sharing with the wealth. You know that never happened. Doesn't happen. They found a way to re-enslave you. Just like in South Africa, they found a way for them where people were losing too much money. They told the white people, damn, we got to do something. We got to get Mandela out of jail. We got to create a bullshit government. We need these sanctions are killing us. So then they had an accommodation. The accommodation was sharecropping. This country was the sharecropping. We'll do sharecropping, and you can just work. You can work and share in the profit. It never comes to fruition because it's nonsense. It's re-enslavement. You cannot have an accommodation to slavery and expect that to work. That's the problem that we have today. The same problem that exists today. Jim Crow exists today. It exists today. Why? Because they had these false accommodations. They solved nothing. That's why they have a problem. We have a problem today. Same problem we had yesterday, 50, 60, 100 years ago. We have the same problem. Why? Because they ain't right. It will never be right. It will never be right. How could they be right? Impossible. That means that they will have to lose something to be right. They have to lose something. That's like when people talk about reparation. But then, so what if they don't? Let's say people say, well, we'll make a demand for reparation. So then what if they simply just neglect you? Then what are you going to do? There has to be repercussions. If you don't meet my demand, you have to lose something. Well, if you don't do this, you're going to lose this or that. What if they just say, no, what are you going to do? Go home and get angry? Get angry and do what? You see? So if you make a demand, you have to back it up. You need insurance. You need insurance. When you make a demand, make sure when you make that demand that they have something to lose if the demand is not met. They have to have something to lose. If they have something to lose, they will lose nothing. They don't care. Reparation is a joke. It's a standard joke in white society. It is a standard joke. It is a standard joke. Don't even address that crap. It doesn't work. You're demanding nothing. Anyway, I think we've just about covered pretty much today, and we can do this every week so we can have a good time. We can expose the nonsense in the society. All I want to do is expose. I want to just expose them. I want to raise the level of consciousness. Is all I do. And I hope that I've raised some level of consciousness in people tonight, or everybody that watched this broadcast. That's what I wish to do. Raise the level of consciousness to bring us, our people up, to become aware of what is going on. Is that these magic formulas and these Jesus formulas, and how come these people, where the hell were they when they were piling their asses on ships and these things? Where was Jesus taking a break? Where were these people? Where was your God? What was he doing? Playing with himself? Where was your God? When black women were having children on slave ships, and how these children survived. Where were they when they were throwing us overboard? I mean, they talk about the Jewish Holocaust. It was what, 12, 13 years, right? 12, 13 years. You know how long our Holocaust has been? Centuries. 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 The Arabs enslaved black people for 1,500 years. Centuries. What if Jews came out and said, you ever hear a Jewish scholar, we need to forgive these Nazis? But I've heard some black people come out and we need to forgive them for slavery. Hell no. And the Jews said, never forget. God damn it, I'm never going to forget your ass. I am never going to forget. Jews said, never forget.
And that's where Christianity plays the play. Because it makes you want to be forgiving. So now you forget all the damage that has been caused for 500 years because you're trying to be a good ass Christian.
Yes, this is where the Bible comes in. This is the bull in the Bible that they're trying to say, that they're trying to shove down your throat. That the Jews said, never forget. You will never hear a Jewish scholar says, well, we need to forgive these Nazis for the shit they did to us. They killed 6 million. They killed over 100 million of our people over hundreds of years.
Yeah, and still
And we're supposed to forget? You've never heard a Jewish scholar, you never heard one Jew say that we forgive Nazis. And that was only 12, 13 years. And look at the shit that they done to us, that we're supposed to forget this shit? I don't think so. Grasshopper, I don't think so. You better tell that crap to somebody that is stupid. Because only somebody that is stupid will accept something as insane as the insanity of Christianity. It is insane. We don't need it.
I think that should be our next topic.
What is that? The insanity of Christianity?
Yeah, we should really expand on it. Even if we can do a PowerPoint slide.
Sure. The insanity of Christianity. Yes. Huh? You can call it the insanity of Christianity. Where the fuck is your humanity? No.
what you want the topic to be, the title to be, then I'll put that there.
You can put it in any language. I could put it in sophisticated language, or I could just put it in a simple street language. We can do that too. I could deal with them on whatever level they want to bring it on. Whatever level they want to bring it on.
Okay.
Want me to write a dissertation? I've written a few of those.
I don't know. Would you be open to doing a PowerPoint presentation? Because sometimes people need visuals.
Sure. I will. What's that?
I'll call you tomorrow and we could, formulate something.
We can break down some.
It don't have to be a big PowerPoint presentation. It could be like 20 slides, 15 slides.
No problem. Like I tell you, I can probably talk for like 10 hours. But anyway.
I don't think you can beat me talking on a podcast.
What's that?
I don't think you can beat me talking on a podcast.
Hey, I'm an old guy.
Okay. So you probably got
you probably just beat up the old man. But anyway.
No. I respect my elders. I take care of my elders.
No
I
problem.
don't beat them up.
No problem. We're having a good time. But anyway, it's when you look at this, when you look at Christianity, and then you ask yourself, well, how can you believe the nonsense that's in a book and then sell my children? You're a Christian, but you're selling my family. You've been selling my family for 250 years, in this country, and you call yourself a Christian, and I am supposed to adopt your religion? Do I look stupid?
That's the mental illness.
Do Jews, that's like Jews accepting Nazism. I want to become a Nazi because these Nazis exterminated 6 to 8 million of my people. Over a 12, 13-year period, they exterminated my people. But I want to be a Nazi? No, I don't want to be a goddamn Christian. How many Christian annihilated black people? Hundreds of millions of black people died. Why would I want to join your club that exterminated my people? That killed hundreds of millions of them? Why would I want to join your society? You're a fake. You're a fake. You're a facade. You're a fake. And then they trained me. I was watching yesterday the NFL draft, and they're like we need to draft some good Negroes, and we gotta go into his private life and so to believe. Then every last one of them coming out, I want to thank Jesus Christ, and this is how they indoctrinate their life. He's a good Negro on the plantation now. Now he's a good Negro. He believes in Jesus Christ. He's not going to do this. He believes in Jesus. They got the old Jesus through the thank God and Jesus. I had to get up there and say, somebody one day said, I want to thank Satan for making me evil and mean to play football. That's why I take steroids in order to play them. Something mean.
You're funny.
But no, I want to have the Jesus and this, and I'm gonna run over people and hurt them just for Jesus. I want to play football and beat the shit out of them, but I'm doing it for Jesus. I am a Christian.
Right.
As long as you have this song of Christianity in your vocabulary, then that should make you okay. It's like a pass key. Oh yeah, I'm a Christian. Oh, you're a Christian? Yeah, I'm a Christian too. I believe in Jesus. Yeah, and Jesus is coming back.
Yeah, that's a long wait.
Well, it's been 2,000 years and he hasn't jumped off the cross yet.
Yeah.
He must have turned to dust by now.
Yeah, right. He never really jumped on the cross for that matter. So,
but then being Jesus, he'll come back and reformulate from dust. And you'll have organs. I mean, if Jesus came back, he wouldn't even know how to use the bathroom.
Right, right.
You'll have to train him. That's like you potty train a child.
Yeah, so I think next Friday we should, do a part 2 on this.
Yeah, we can do part 2 next Friday. We can do it on whatever subject. I'm ready. Whatever subject. I like to call myself a walking encyclopedia. But anyway, I don't know it all. I just like to read. That's all.
Yeah,
I never claim to know it all, but I love reading. I love reading, and I talk about what I've experienced in life, and what I read in life, what I feel. I paint what I feel in life. I exist. I exist to do good. I exist to do the things that you do. Like you educate. I've educated people. I share my knowledge. You share your knowledge, with young people, the formative, most important years. So you grab them before they become part of the idiotic system of foolishness. Yeah. And then you see the students that are actually going to become productive. And then you see the students that are going to be a problem. They have jails ready for them.
I know.
And then the society castigates them. See what he did? He did that. He did that. Oh well, you see. Oh, his mama is no longer here, and he can't afford all these things. So he does illegal business and he sells drugs and things that are illegal, or he robs places and he's dead. I mean, he gets shot by the police and he's in jail, and he comes out and he becomes a greater criminal. And you can tell the people in the society that are going to become criminals. They can. They know the people in the society. Now they catch crooks just through DNA. It's like it's generational. Could be cousins, and it's like weird. I've seen this shit through DNA that they're catching crooks. It's in the blood.
Right.
Just like Africans used to experience things that happened to generations, and they used to say, "Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy." No, it's not. Now they're studying it. They call it epigenetic transfer. Things are transferred.
It's true.
Through your ancestors and through you.
And I think that could be another topic to speak about epigenetics, because a lot of people don't believe that is real.
It doesn't matter. Science has proved it. It's proven.
Yes, exactly.
I don't care what they believe.
So we have like topics forever to discuss. We have topics.
We can go on. We can do a live broadcast every day, if need be.
Well, you know what? You email
We'll get our
me.
own TV show.
You email me your schedule and your time, and we'll put this TV show together.
Tell me. I'll tell you what. You want to work on a TV show? We'll work.
Yes.
We'll work on a TV show, and we'll put in the time it takes to do it.
Okay.
I can tell you, I have a very open schedule.
I'm going to call you tomorrow, and we definitely going to.
No problem. You've got my number, right?
Yes, of course. What's a good time to call? Because I know when I call you during the day, you said you'd be rested.
Yeah, I sleep in there, but I only sleep 3 hours a day, so it's no problem. And that varies.
So I'll call you.
When do you get up? What's your schedule? School is still in, right?
Yeah, school is still
in. Tomorrow's Saturday.
Yeah, tomorrow's Saturday.
Call tomorrow when you get up. You early person, late person, mid-afternoon. What is it?
I'm an early person. I'm up.
We can just do the thing on Facebook. We were friends.
Okay, so then I'll message you on Facebook to see if you're up, and then if
we can do video, audio, whatever we want to on Facebook. So okay. I think we've covered a lot. Not a lot. Well, send me a copy. I guess you're going to probably edit this whole thing.
No, actually, I'm not. I'm going to leave it just the way it is. I think
really?
It's virgin form. I'm going to leave it the way it is. It's the reason
maybe it's so long we can have part 1 and part 2 already.
Yeah, well, we got 2 hours and 54 minutes in, so don't
We've got 3 hours.
I can break it up to part one
we
and
got
part two.
let's do it into 3 episodes, and we can have 3 episodes, and we can do, and each time we do it, we can do 3 hours, because the time just flies. Time flies when you're just talking about subjects that you care about and things that are happening to us. I mean, there's like no time.
Right.
I say,
so
time is
like, the first hour could be part one, the second hour will be part two, and this last hour will be part three.
And we have 3 hours. We already have part 1, 2, and 3.
Exactly. That's from this one podcast. Right.
It's a done deal.
So I'll give you a ring tomorrow.
We can work probably, who knows? We can probably work out a TV show.
That's what I was gonna say. So I'm definitely gonna call you tomorrow on the telephone so we can talk about the TV show.
Let's try. Like get work out a pilot or something. I don't know how I've never done one of these. I mean, I've done a podcast this on YouTube, but I don't know, like, actually make a actual pilot. Well, what I want to get into next, but when I get my foot, this diabetic ulcers under control, I want to get into making film. Making film is what I want to do. Have you ever heard of a guy named, I went to school with him, named Brewster? I went to school.
No, I haven't.
Oh, I went to school. I'm trying to remember his first name. He went to high school with me. Went to Stanford, Harvard, and stuff. And he's made a film about his son and how they told him he spoke white and all this other foolishness. You're like, you know, how the teasing and the foolishness in school. You had a lesson. His work was interesting. But I thought maybe you were familiar with it. But anyway, that's what I want to do. I want to do something in film next, because I know that people like to watch things on film. People would rather watch something on film than read. You know, I have a book of poems we can do. Maybe do one day, or we can do a book of poems. This is the book that I wrote.
Yes, exactly.
Velvet Dream. Poetry. Yeah, it actually contains some of my art. You could probably look at it here better.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. It could probably, the ones that are the art that's in the book could probably be better shared. Let me see if you can see. This is one of the paintings that's in the background.
Yeah, that's kind of blurry.
It's kind of blurry?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see. But
the poetry is definitely great, because I can also share my poetry as well. That would give me
definitely.
The time to share my poetry.
This one is the shirt that I'm wearing. Let me see if you can see this.
Yeah, I can see it, but the light is glaring.
Yeah, the lighting, the lighting is bad. We can turn down the lighting from this. No, this stuff doesn't work. Anyway, I thought maybe it'll work better on this. But if you really want to actually see my art, you have to. I tried with this, but it doesn't really translate.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see.
It doesn't really translate, in this medium with the lighting and its format. So then, if you want to really see my art, just go Renaldo Ricketts art, or just, I don't know, if you Google my name, you see there's a lot of stuff. I didn't put any of this up there, believe me.
Right. Maybe next time.
Everything that you've ever seen written about me or my art or whatever someone else put up. I don't know. I never even tried or don't even know how.
Right. So maybe next time we could use the share screen option here on the StreamYard and let people see the art a little bit more detailed and closer.
Yeah, if people want to really see art, they really have to go. If they really want to see it with any degree of clarity, it can't be this format. I don't know if maybe
I don't know if you can try and get it on a PowerPoint slide. Is there a way you can do it that
I know
way?
to be honest with you, I've never done PowerPoint, and I guess if I want to put PowerPoint slide, I'll have to take pictures and stuff of it, right? And I've never even done it. I never thought there was any. I've never even done PowerPoint. I know what it's like, but I've never even done it.
I was thinking maybe the next podcast that we do about Christianity, if we can have some PowerPoint slides, because people like to see visuals, like you were saying earlier. So yeah, we're talking about it.
Well, you're gonna have to walk. You're gonna have to walk me through the PowerPoint things and exactly.
Okay, I will.
Exactly what my role is. These old guys ain't accustomed to all this.
Okay, I will. No problem.
So
I'll be happy.
I'm sure it's nothing really to it.
No, it's not hard at all.
But now that we have 3 episodes, 1, 2, and 3.
And I'm gonna send you a copy of 1, 2, and 3 so you can share it on your social media platform.
Yeah, I can send it out, people, and then they'll be able to probably see this on the net too, right?
Yeah, of course. They'll see as long as they go to my YouTube channel, they'll be able to see it. And I already sent you the YouTube
they have to
link.
go to your, if they were to like go into my Google my name, it won't show up.
I don't think so. But I sent you the YouTube link. So all you have to do is just share the YouTube link that I sent.
Yeah. If the YouTube link, it'll just automatically, it's on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you take the YouTube link and share it on whatever social media or whatever search engine.
But what if they were to Google my name and will like the other one, the one that you saw? If a person Googled my name, I don't know what they did. Like I tell you, I never got into the electronics part of this medium. If these people Google my name and then the interview shows up, can you make that happen? I'm sure you can.
Let me see.
I'm sure. I mean, if they did it once before, so why not again? It's already been done.
You remember how they did it?
I don't know. Not if I remember. I don't even know how they do it. There are people that know how to do this kind of stuff, and this is what she learned. She was like YouTube illiterate. The woman that interviewed me, and we did the same.
Find out from her. I said, find out from her so we can put this episode.
Even if she explained to me, I could have you talk to her. Even if she explained to me, I couldn't tell you because I am illiterate when it comes to these things. But then
you put us on a 3-way call, and then she can.
I can give you her email address, no problem.
Okay, good.
Igneous Press. I will sell you this up, and just tell her how she put it on YouTube, whereby you could just type in my name and it shows up.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, that's what I will give her information. Just ask her.
Yeah, we'll take care of that tomorrow.
Yeah, she could probably do that, or anybody that has the technical know-how. I never get into the technical aspect of the internet, but
I got you.
I've spoken on the internet. That's my role. That's other people's job, is the way I see it. The PowerPoint, that's not my job.
Right. I hear you. I understand.
That's another profession.
Right.
My profession is to communicate. Other people, that's what you do. It's fine if it's simple. If I can learn it, good. If not, that is still your profession.
Don't worry, we'll sort it out.
Not my forte. That is your forte. That stays in your backyard. I stay in my backyard. But you know what? This has been great. We've done 3 episodes in one take, and it was great. I had a good time. How about you?
Yes, I sure did. It's always a pleasure to have powerful guests on the platform such as yourself. And I also look forward to having more future builds with you. Thank you for your time and your energy, space. Thank you for your knowledge that you shared here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, much welcome. Anytime.
Thank you.
Indeed.
And David, hang tough, brother. I know what those ulcers are, man.
Right. I'm looking it up now.
Well, yeah, if I can help you in any way, let me know. You've got my information. You can contact me anytime, email, whatever, phone call, whatever. And,
all right.
And maybe I can give you some tips on how to combat some of these monsters that we're both facing.
I know that's right. I know that's
okay, you know what? So we're going to do a podcast on diabetes, how to cure diabetes naturally.
Definitely. Yeah. Oh, that's easy. No problem.
All right, we're going to do that, and we're going to have some PowerPoint slides up and do it like a real schoolroom presentation.
Fantastic.
Sounds good.
Show me what I need to do, and I will do it. Like I say, it's not my forte, so it's up to you, Professor, to guide this old guy into PowerPoint.
Oh, yes, I got you. Don't worry, I got you. You have a blessed night.
Same to you, David. You have a good one,
Peace and blessings.
Okay, peace and blessings to you all too.
Peace out.
All right.
Peace. And thank you for listening to Real Radio Talk.